Why does it say the video is unavailable? Oh my god, there's 2 viewers. But I can't see the video. This is weird. So how do I see my own video then? So I've got 2 concurrent viewers. So how did it say this video is unavailable, and yet it says I've been live for 1 minute? This is what I don't get, you see, with good old YouTube. Live videos. Let me see if I can log on and see my own video live stream. Well, hey, I am live. There we are. So can I watch this? I can apparently watch it. See, it's like there's a little window from YouTube and it says the video's unavailable, but I can see what's already been in the video live. So weird. YouTube, man. YouTube. It's just a little experiment to see if I can actually do this. YouTube. Oh, there we go. So what's the quality like then? 480p. Ooh, 1080p. Wonder if it does look 1080p or not. Looks pretty good. Does look pretty good. Looks pretty good. And I put it on low latency, so there's pretty good feedback on the time. So now what I should be able to do is keep the chat up on screen so everyone can see the chat in the recording. Although I think when they play back they can view live chats on the side anyway, so I don't know whether I really need to do this, but hey, might as well, just in case something goes wrong with the chats. I've only got 4 playbacks, but 1 viewer. That's because it's late. You see, I didn't really. Oh, what's this say? The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. But that's good, because I don't really want to max it out, because then it is going to jitter. So I want to keep it lower than the maximum. It's pretty good quality though. So I wonder what the test is going to be like on this then. Oh, somebody called Soul Rescue. Soul Rescue says, "See you okay." Let me just see if I can see that. Oh, I see. So I need to play around with this. Oh, that makes it smaller like that. Oh, I see. I can see how many are watching then. I might do it. That might be better. Okay. That would probably work. How about if I make... Oh, that's better. If I make that bigger like that. If I make that like that. I reckon that'd be pretty good. Oh. What about if I stretch this up like that? Ooh. Even better. Right. There we go. That's sort of a bit better. Hi, Soul Rescue. I don't know if you're still there. I've got 2 concurrent viewers at the moment. So it's just a test really. I'm playing around and just seeing if this works, so how I can kind of play around with it and get it so that people can see what's on the screen, and I can maybe do some live broadcasts. Oh. Yeah. So I assume it's sounding okay. I can see the microphone is working, so sounds okay, sees okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to do some live broadcasts soon so I can get a bit of interaction with the people watching. Just a bit of fun, you know. Might be a good laugh. So I'm going to schedule a time when I can get online, and yeah, the sound's okay as well. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. So there's 3 watching now. So yeah, if you want to type something in, I am watching the side thing, and I pointed in the correct direction. Look, I could have accidentally gone that way, but it's that way. It's to my left. Okay. So yeah. Well, it's been an interesting season for the crop circle so far. As many of you are aware, I am not working with the crop circle connector anymore. Not through wish. No, that wasn't through me wanting not to. Because I mean, I've dedicated my life for the last 30 years to the subject of crop circles, and yeah, you know, I've went and got my pilot's license, and you know, used to fly over the crop circles in my aircraft, and I used to you know, get them the pictures quicker than anyone else, and you know, stuff. But as you probably noticed this year, there are little creepy competitive arseholes who you know, just seem to want to sort of try and beat you to the post with getting there and doing it quicker, even when you're the one telling them information of where these circles are. They wanted to try and race you to get the circles and put them out before you could put them out, which is a bit rude really, isn't it, when you consider that I was giving the information. I thought that was a little bit rude, and yeah, because of bringing this up with the crop circle connector and saying, you know, hey guys, how long have we been working together? I mean, you know, I've been flying as your number 1 pilot and drone pilot and, you know, supplier of information, and you just seem to be kind of like mercenary in the way you're dealing with you know, people who come along. Is there any chance that you could kind of put our photos out at the same time so that it kind of gives me a chance, and then it instills in the other person not to speed, you know, not to race in the car, and force me to try and race in the car, so, you know, so we don't have a fucking accident and we don't blow up our engines on our car and use obscene amount of fuel to get there. Can't we just like slow down and, you know, maybe have a bit of food when we get there, because, like, you know, driving and whatnot. So yeah, that was my kind of thinking on this, is that this is getting crazy. It's getting absolutely crazy, and we need to just slow down. And, you know, nobody knows where the crop circles are, so why don't we just do it, you know, do it so that we can kind of release these things at the same time. And their attitude to that was, fuck you. So all those years of working with them, all those years of working and trust and everything was just thrown against the wall, all because I wouldn't try and fucking drive myself into the ground. So quite frankly, when I realised that they were taking the piss like that, I said, enough's enough. I'm not doing that anymore. I ain't doing it anymore. So I kind of backed off, and that's why I am not doing anything with the crop circle connector anymore, and I will amble along at slow speeds, and I will get there with the tyres still intact on my car, and I will enjoy the time I have to edit the videos, and I will be happier with the results of having taken my time. Because what was happening before is I was having to rush things out. And when you rush things and you're trying to video edit, or it's like trying to rush doing a painting, you know, speed painting, you know, it's like, how can an artist be expected to rush? I mean, it doesn't go down very well. So that's why I don't work with them anymore. And I'm kind of dismayed that they would just shit on somebody that they'd worked with for so long because they wanted to, you know, save an hour or two, or, you know, couldn't wait a couple of hours. Nah. It's all wrong. It's just so badly wrong, that kind of attitude. And, you know, I honestly felt like I was just being treated like a bloody skivvy, you know, just being used basically. So yeah, kind of taking a back seat to it now. And it may well mean that I do not take all the crop circles this summer, and I will have to be a little bit you know, mercenary in what I do myself. But that's why I kind of that's why that situation is there. So there we go. Yeah, I'm going to discuss this in a broadcast show which is scheduled. So some people have said they don't like seeing me drink, and they don't like seeing me drunk. But well, it's late at night and helps me get to sleep. So yeah. And I'm such a late bird. I really do need to do things to make me get to bed, because I don't do that very well. So whilst I'm here, I could bugger about with this. Somebody gave me a tablet they asked me to repair. I think the kids have been on it and they filled it up with spyware, so I probably could do to charge that. So hello, Soul Rescue. Whereabouts are you from, Soul Rescue? And I hope you're not the soul that I've just blocked on my Facebook and my Messenger. I hope you're not that soul. I hope you're not that soul, because to be quite fucking frank, won't be wanting to speak to that particular soul ever again. So there we go. I really don't like bullshit. I don't know if you've kind of picked this up if you watch my channel regularly. I really don't like bullshit, and I don't like people fucking trying to treat me like a fucking imbecile or talk down to me. Drives absolute hell into me. And yeah, you know, and people, you know, talking like as if they're my fucking boss, you know, and they tell me what to do. That is the number one thing that is going to make me block someone and never want to speak to them ever again for the rest of my life. And honestly, that would not be soon enough for me. Yep. I do not like being fucking talked down to. Yeah. Especially when those people who are talking down to me are just so fucking off their tits half the time that they just don't know which fucking end of their arse is which. So, you know, it comes to something when you fucking talk down to by people who are like off their fucking trolleys. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not having any of that. But so he says, Soul saying, no, that's not him, so don't worry. So what are my feelings on the latest circle? God. So you want me ranting straight away then, do you? Ha ha ha. Yeah, well, what's my feelings? let's see whether I can do something with this, because let's see whether I can kind of call up a video. I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to do this? So this is where it's going to get interesting, because I have to kind of work out now how I operate this. Let me just see if I can set up a new scene. Hang on. Let me see if I can. If I set up a scene and I call it like Toshiba, which is my Toshiba telly, Toshiba Firefox and webcam. Ta-da! So if I create a scene like that, and if I say it's window capture or display capture, yeah, and I say it's the second display, which is over there, that's correct. And if I then say that my webcam, which is known as a video capture device, which is the webcam, if that is, hang on, I've got to get this right, display capture, why is it not showing up? Display capture. I don't think you can display it on two screens at the same time. It's a limitation of, probably a limitation of the video cam. Although I'm surprised about this. I'm surprised it can't do it two ways. Don't know. So let me see if I say display capture is the display 2, which it is displaying, but that's not. Hang on, video capture device, display, no. I can't bring up the webcam twice. Oh God, this is why I'm going to have to play around with this and try and work out what I'm doing. It might be that, you know, I'll have to have like a secondary webcam and switch between them. It's a bit shit. I'm sure I've done this on Wirecast and it can allow me to have the same input multiple times, and then I can move it to the corners, and it's probably just a limitation of OBS. Anyway, that being the case, I will have to dispense with the video capture device and just go to display capture. I was going to bring up a video, so and if I bring up the video over here, which is the video of crop circle, then I can bring it up and play it. So let me just get that. Let me just get that for you, and then I can play it and I can tell you what I think whilst I watch it. I called it Longwood Warren. It's not Longwood Warren. It's Longwood. So it's in the. It's got a name of the wrong folder. Oh, don't. Does you see? See, I've just spent the best part of an hour rendering a file which has crashed. So I don't have that file. Jesus Christ. How many times have I rendered today and the file has crashed because I don't have enough hard drive space? I've spent about 5.5 hours today with crashed files because I don't have enough hard drive space. Great. Okay, so I will do that in the middle of the night when I go to sleep. I will render the super long for the latest crop circle. I am rendering the super long video for the latest crop circle, by the way. So back to the point. Let me show you the not super long video then, which is the one that's on YouTube right now. Hang on, let me just stop that, and I will need to drag it over here. Okay, if I drag it over here, so I can do this, but I've got to manipulate my window down like this. Oh, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Oh God, this is complicated, isn't it? Right, I can do it, and I've got to move my video around. God, this is weird. Why doesn't it fit the window? Should be 1920 by 1080, but it doesn't seem to want to fit in that window. Okay. There we are, that'll do it. Right, I will watch the video and I will comment. Oh, I can't see your comments, can I? Let me, that's what I'm, hang on. Sorry, this is all kind of new. I need to kind of work out how this is. Let me get rid of this. No, bring this over here, like that. Bring the video back up, and then I can have your comments on the side. Yeah, I am thinking of bringing Circle Makers TV back, but I can't work out whether or not I use this piece of software, which looks like a piece of shit, to be perfectly honest at this point, but it does stream quite nicely. I may have to use my good old Wirecast, which was very reliable and could do a lot of nice special effects, and yeah, it was just a lot easier than this. Hang on, if I press this button, then you see the new screen. There you go. So now you see that. Now you can see the video and me and the chat. So is this good? I don't know. Is this a good thing? Maybe I should put the window, oh, I don't know. Let's just do it like that. What the hell? Sod it. Where's that gone now? Oh, that's gone there. Right, okay. So if I press play, do I get audio from the... I do get audio from the desktop audio. I will fade it down though, because otherwise it's going to be over the top. Right, you'll have to tell me if the music is too loud and overpowering. It's a good frame rate, that, actually. 30 frames a second. It seems quite smooth in that window. Tell you what I'll do. The best thing, I'll turn the amp down and I can keep this up then without it looping back and creating a double echo. Can you see that rainbow there? That's quite good, wasn't it? I don't think I realised that was there when I was filming, but I mean, there was a rainbow in the sky. I didn't even realise it was raining on that night, but so what do I think of this circle? Well, it's not that original, because I got a feeling the people who did it basically are copying something that they did in Cirencester a few years ago. So yeah, I mean, if I did bring back Circle Makers TV, is there any specific areas that you would like us to kind of do? Anything you'd like to see us kind of try and bring up? You know, what was your kind of favourite thing about Circle Makers TV then? What was it that did it for you? It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. Pretty neat edges. It's pretty good. And it was nice there, but unfortunately, I don't know if you can see, the shadows of the tree were very long. You know, I mean, the shadows were like 30-40 meters long. You know, it was, yeah, I just about missed the magic moment for golden hour for the shadows. It was getting pretty extreme, but it's okay. I mean, you know, brightened up well the video. Yeah, you like the interviews with Circle Makers and whatnot. Yeah, I was thinking of doing it in such a way that I can't have people here anymore in the house because it's too small. I mean, there is a possibility I could have people here in the house, but it's very limited space here. It's really small place. So the only way I'd be able to do it would be to kind of clear out the lounge, which is full of boxes and stuff, because I don't have the room to keep everything I'd like to keep. And if I did do it with Circle Makers TV, I'd have to possibly Skype people in, you know, get them to Skype in and interview them through Skype, which in some ways might be preferable, because it's less pressure on those people than actually being, you know, in a kind of like a semi-studio environment with lights and people and excitement. You know, it's kind of might give them a little bit less pressure to do the interviews. So yeah, I mean, there are plenty of circle makers out there in the world who've never been interviewed, and they would be quite welcome to, you know, retain their anonymity and, you know, maybe even wear a mask or something, as we used to do, and that way we could maybe get some interviews with people who have never been spoken to before, are completely unknown, and yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, this is, you know, it's not a bad little crop circle. I mean, some bits are standing up already in the tram lines, as you can see, but you know, I think they got their measurements just about right. Just about, I say, but not perfect, because in the centre bits there's a little bit of a, I think there's a bit of a measurement issue going on there. But yeah, you know, it's fairly effective. But it's just a real shame, I think, that this team are absolutely hell-bent on regurgitating previous designs and just kind of changing them a little bit, which to me it's like, is there nothing else that you can do? Is there nothing else that can be done? Does it have to be, you know, the same old designs? It's a bit of a shame, isn't it, you know? But yeah, so I sped this shot up because I had to speed it up because it was taking a long time to get towards the crop circle from that distance with the drone. So that was actually sped up, and then it's slowed down at this point, and then you don't necessarily realise it, because I tried to put these speed on things. I put a bit of speed on here to get you there quicker again, and then take the speed off slowly. But yeah, anyway, it's So which part of the world are you from then, Soul Rescue, if you don't mind me asking? Which general part of the world, you know, or UK? And how did you come across this channel? How did you come across us? So I could probably actually show you the timeline of this. I could probably bring over Premiere. Let's have a see. You can actually watch. You know, you can see here. Look, if I bring it over here, if I bring that over here, you can actually see. Wait, what's going on? Is that correct? It's almost correct. Hang on a sec. Whoa. Hang on. Let me just. Yeah, there we go. Look, there's Adobe Premiere, if you've never seen it. So I don't know if you know much about video editing and what you have to do, but there's a hell of a lot involved. There's a hell of a lot involved, and you know, this is the new super long edit. But I mean, there's so much you have to do. Like, I mean, I'll show you how the footage comes in off the camera. Comes in like that. That's what it looks like when it comes in, and you have to shoot it darker and low contrast to get the skies in, and then I've got to color correct it. I have to color correct it and push all those colors back in. But you know, if you point towards the sun, this is where you'll see it makes a big difference, because you know, you can see the color in the sky, but I have to push it all up a bit to get the skies in. So hang on, I'm going to tweak that now actually. Even though I've actually done the final edit on this, so it's not going to, this isn't going to appear in the final edit, but I'll show you what you can do to recover things like the skies, you know, just in case you're interested. But I mean, like the sky is obviously bleached there, so the sky is a little bit too bright. So what I can do is I can turn the highlights down. But if I turn the highlights down, you can see how it affects the lower regions as well. So it brings the sky back in, but it's making everything else a bit dark. So you've got this constant balancing game of take one down, move one up, so you can affect the highlights and the shadows. But I want to see if I can get that sky right in. Look at that now, as you see. So if I take the highlights right down, that's where it would be, burnt out. And if I take the highlights right down, now you're getting a bit of colour back in the sky. But it does affect the lower regions as well. Let me see if I can get even more in the sky. There we are. Now you're getting a bit of extra little yellow in the sky. But it's affecting the foreground again. So I'd have to come back in here, and then I'd have to bring the shadows up, the shadows in these areas, to bring this up a little bit. And I might have to increase the contrast to kind of balance it all out a bit. But it's a bloody, you know. And then when you go lower contrast, you get lower color, so you have to push the colors up to kind of, you know, to combat that. So, you know, it's kind of like when you put the contrast up, the colors look gaudy. So it's a real, oh, it's just a, you know, it's a bloody nightmare sometimes. So yeah, it can be quite a challenge. So there we go. So there we go. So that's like, so now we've got the really strong colors in the sky, but it's got very, you know, very dull in the foreground. So, you know, we can bring the level of the foreground up, and then we add some contrast in, and we're just about there now, where we've got color in the sky, we've lightened the shadow areas, okay, and now we're kind of getting to the point where we can kind of say that's okay. Now if I show you what it was like before this was on, ready? So that's what it was like, yeah, and that's what it's like now. And you see how long that takes, and that's just pointing towards the sun. Now this is where it gets funny, because when we turn the other direction, the light's going to go, uh-oh, and it's going to look weird in the other direction. See, the probably too much colour now, too much colour. So hang on, so we've got to take the colours down a little bit, make it a bit more natural, and then we've got to look back at the sun to see if it looks natural over there. You see what I mean? When you face away from the sun, there's loads of colour, and when you face back to the sun, it's looking like there's not enough colour. And this is the sort of weird stuff you get when you're video editing. And sometimes you have to ride the colour up one direction, down when you face the other direction, back up one direction and back out down. And you know, we can do that. I'll kind of show you here. Look, so if I point it here, okay, I'll show you how you sort of like ride the colours. So you turn on the saturation there, and I'd like push the colour up a little bit, and then as we come along and around, it's too much colour, so I would turn the colour back, yeah, and then as we come around again, there's not enough colour, so I'd push the colour up, yeah, and then as we come around, you know, maybe it's a bit too much, so I pull it down a little bit, and then as we come back round, then we need to turn the colours down, and then when we play this back, watch what happens then. So it looks nicer, but watch now, you'll see the colour thing here on the right hand side, you'll see that flying up and down on its own. That's why I programmed it, so the colour is going up as we face towards the sun. So yeah, and then as we turn around, then the colour's coming right down, so it's not too gaudy. But you know, you can do loads of stuff like this. When you're facing the sun, you pull the highlights down, and when you're facing away from the sun, you take the highlights back up for contrast reasons and stuff like that, and it can get quite complicated. You can have a lot of these flying around as you're kind of moving, but yeah, you know, it takes so much time. Grading and colorization takes so much time to get it right. You want those strong colors. Anyway, let's see where you are and see what you're saying. So you might be saying something in the background. You may want to chat. I don't know. Let's have a look. So see what you got to say. You're in Swindon, my God. Just had a data usage warning. So oh yes, you're on your mobile, are you? Nice one, man. So the stream seems to have died. Really? Stream's died? No way. Hang on. Has it really? Oh, let me have a look. Oh no, I'm still here because I can see myself on the window there. So should be back up. Is it back up now? So nice to see you, Zyantiops. I assume that's how you pronounce that. But yeah, what did I have on the screen a minute ago to stop this window business going weird? I think, oh that's right, yeah. No, I had me, didn't I? I had me going like this. Me hiding the screen. And I go like that. There we are, that stops all that kind of echoey effect going into the distance. So he says, no, it's all good. Right, so that's James Thakrar. Oh, so, yeah, I've been kind of thinking of doing like a live stream session of showing you how I edit the videos, so people can kind of get an idea of how it's done. Maybe giving away some of those secrets, of how it's done, and you know, that might be kind of interesting for people, I suppose. You know, seeing that, you know, you get your drone, you get this footage, the footage looks very bland, you know, and then you kind of edit in the colours and then chop it down and speeding some bits up, slowing them down, reversing some bits of footage, you know, because yeah, there's a lot of tricks involved really to kind of making quite average footage and then chopping it so that you don't realise that I had a kink or a bump in the flying in the middle of the footage and I cut away to something else and cut back, or you know, there's all sorts of little tricks you can do. But yeah, and I'm probably not the best editor in the world, but you know, I sort of can hold my head above water when it comes to doing these little drone videos anyway. So yeah, and I've got some secret ideas I want to try this summer. I want to try doing some little things that nobody has tried before. Certainly not in drone flying, you know, because it does appear to me. I mean, I got to say, I mean, I kind of was one of the first to do the drone flying of the crop circles, and you know, now I've basically got loads of people doing it, which is, you know, good. I'm glad they're out there doing it. You know, where they're kind of copying my style, the style I sort of created, which is, you know, nice. I'm glad, you know, because it's, you know, it's nice to be copied, but you know, it's not nice to be copied then kicked out of the way, like, you know, which is what's happened. So with, you know, crop circle connector and all that. So yeah, that's a bit sad. So maybe I shouldn't show them my techniques of how to edit, because then they'll be fucking copying me to the absolute letter. They will be copying absolutely everything I'm doing, which is why I want to do a few things that have never been done this season, this summer. I think it might be a good idea to pull some firsts with flying the crop circles. That would be good fun. And yeah, why not try and push the boundaries of what can be done, and experiment with some stuff that's never been seen before. I just would be a bit of fun. So we'll see whether I can pull that off and bring some new videos which nobody's ever done, and possibly some people might find a little bit hard to do. Don't excuse me a minute, I'm just going to blow my nose. I'll do it for your Americans who don't like people who blow their nose, you know, so I will do it over here. Yeah. So yeah. Do you guys think it would be worthwhile me doing like a how to edit on Premiere class? Do you think that people would be interested in that? You know, just editing in general, you know, how to video edit in general, or, you know, specifically drone stuff, but just kind of showing people how you get into it and walking through, you know, the procedures in Premiere. You know, do you think that there would be much of a call for that, or, you know, do you think there would be many people who would watch that? It might get some, you know, more people interested in drone flying. I might even, you know, take the camera out and do some. Currently using iMovie on a Mac Pro. Oh no! You know my feelings on this. Well, put it like this, right? I must say, iMovie is easy to use. So anything that is easy to use, yeah, you can see he's laughing now. Yeah, sorry, you fucking Apple user. Yeah. Yeah. But anything that is easy to use has got to be good. But you want to know something? Right? This is probably the most powerful video editing device I actually own. Because this little motherfucker, right, this edits 4K and will render it out quicker than my big PC down there, my Xeon, you know, my Xeon 6-core PC. Down here, I've got an absolute beast, which I can't even use because the fans are so noisy. I've never been able to use it because it absolutely drives hell into me. So I've actually had to buy a special fan controller unit where it can control all of the fans independently of the motherboard, because the noise on this is just insane. So therefore, I've got to manually control. Hiya Mind Central, nice to see you. So the fans on the motherboard just go nuclear when you get a little bit of temperature. They just go woo, and it's just, as you can hear now, you can't really hear my fans even when it's rendering at full 100% processor chat. You can't hear my fans because I kind of have used Noctua fans, and I've done it in a way that is not stupid, and you don't have to have the noise. So but here we are, right? Completely silent, no noise at all, right? This is a Samsung Galaxy S8, yeah, and it can edit 4K almost real time. So if you've got an hour's worth of material, it'll take an hour to render. Guess what? If I've got 4 minutes to 8 minutes of video of drones, 4 minutes in that machine down there with a 6-core Xeon processor and a NVIDIA GeForce 1080 Ti card, but the card is worth 500 quid on its own, and that's a second-hand price, 500 quid, yeah? If I render on that, 8 minutes of footage would take about an hour to render. Take about an hour to render, and it will take about 8 minutes of footage on here would take 8 minutes to render. What the fuck's that about? What the fuck is that about? Because Adobe Premiere is literally living in the past. Yeah, they are living in the fucking past. Because if this can do in no time at all. Why can't all that fucking hardware down there that cost a fortune, why can't that fucking do that in the same time as a mobile phone? What is that about? Why is that happening? Yeah? So I gotta say to you, so Tom Ben's good. So how do I get a smaller video size output in Premiere? Well, it depends. You can start off with a small project size. So you can, if say you've got 4K footage you shot on your camera or your drone, you can start off, you create a 1080p project, you drag your footage in, you resize it down to the 1080p, you edit it at 1080p, and you can output it at 1080p. Or you can have a 4K project with 4K footage, you can edit it at 4K, but then when you come to export, you go to H.264 or whatever in the corner. I'll show you now. Why don't I just show you? Yeah. So you come here to oh, hang on. What the fuck? This is so weird. Right, so you come over here like that, and if I want to, this is 4K footage here, by the way. But if I want to output it, you just go to File. I'm gonna have to turn my webcam off so you can see where I'm going. Right. So you go up to the file up the top. You say you want to export. Whoops. Export. The shortcut for that is Control M on the keyboard, by the way. And you can see that, my source that I'm editing, my source project is 3840 by 2160. So that's 4K project, yeah? But my output can be whatever I want. And you dial that in down here. You can say what sort of sizes you want, or you can choose a preset. So if I go to MP4, H.264, there's all sorts of presets there for like 480p, 800, down the bottom, all sorts of presets that might be useful to you. 1080p, 1024, 600, 720p, or you can manually put it in yourself. And the way you do that is you just untick the lock box, which locks this off. You untick it so it's not locked, and you can type in 1280 by 7, and it automatically, because the link button is selected, it'll automatically work out 1280 is 720 when in 16:9 aspect ratio. Now the output frame rate is 29.97, which is the same as my source. So it's always a good idea to you output your frames at the same rate as your source, otherwise you might get jittering. But say for instance I wanted to make this 60 frames a second. My original is 29.97, but say I wanted to make it 60 frames a second, I can do that. I can untick that, push it up to 60 frames a second, and if I scroll down here to time interpolation, I can turn on optical flow, which will actually calculate in between the frames, and it will create subframes which do sub movements between the frames. So that's what optical flow does. So it will take what would have been jitter footage if moved up to 60 frames per second. It would have jittered or duplicated the frames. Now it won't just duplicate them, it will create a frame, then the in between frame will move. It will create a movement frame of what's moved, then it will move to the next frame. So that optical flow is a very powerful feature, but it does take a lot of time to calculate optical flow between frames. So hopefully that answers your question, but it's all on the output basically. Choose which format you want to output, choose a template, which is the easiest way, and scroll down till you find the one you want at the frame rate you want, or find one that's the output size you want even if it's not the correct frame rate, and untick the frame box and dial in the frame rate you want, the output frame rate you want, and make sure you select frame sampling is the quickest. It's the cheesy one where it just chops frames up. Frame blending takes frames and will blend between them, so it sort of merges and cross dissolves between each frame. So that's frame blending. That can be slightly smoother, but the real one is optical flow, where it takes hang on a sec, I better put my camera back on so you can see what I'm saying here. So if you've got so say you've got 29 frames per second, so you've got one frame, then the next, okay? Then at 60 frames a second, there's going to be an in-between frame. Now you've created an extra frame because you're doubling up, so there's an in-between frame. Now, if you have frame blending, it will blend a frame both ways. So it'll take that frame and blend it into a pseudo frame, and it will take this frame and blend it into a pseudo frame. So they blend on, yeah, they blend on from each other, yeah. But that is cheap and cheerful and cheesy. But with optical flow, if you take 29 frames and you double them, so there's this extra frame in the middle, it will actually take this frame and it will look at what the difference between this frame is and where objects have moved between this frame and this frame. It will say, well, what's moved? And it will say, well, Matt's head moved slightly. So it will create an in-between frame which is, say, for instance, let's try and do it like this. So this frame is where my head is, right? Under 29 frames per second, right? And in the next frame at 29 frames a second, my head might be over here. So we've got here and here between the frames. But optical flow will create a third frame where my head is in the middle. So it actually creates smooth motion. So that's worth looking at. Anyway, don't know if that's too much information for you or has blown your mind, but yeah, it's called interpolation, and it's it basically creates these extra keyframes in between, you know, and interpolates between them. So yeah, let me have a look at where you are and what you're saying. So you see if I can find where you are. Let me just cancel the. Oh, of course. Oh, you didn't see some of that because it was on the wrong fucking window. Shitter. Hang on. Fuck. Let me just press. So I need to look at what the output is. Right, hang on. So I need to look at the output window and drag it over here. You couldn't see this window when I was telling you this stuff, could you? You couldn't see it. I'm so sorry. Right, you have to choose your output format, like H.264. Then you can choose your presets. So find one that matches what you want to be. Let's say like 1280 by 800 at 29 frames a second. Okay, and then untick this box over here, choose your frame rate, so 60 frames a second for instance, yeah. Okay, it's saying that it can't do it for this type of project because of the type of MPEG it is. So I'll say custom format. I'll say up here like custom format. I'm going to manually type in my frames, so 1280 by 720. I'm going to untick the box and I'm going to choose a manual frame speed of 60. Now this would be taking 29 frames a second and it will be bumping them up to 60. But your options are frame sampling, which is it just duplicates the frames, so it's going to be quite rough. Frame blending, which will blend that way and blend that way between frames, so they all blend on top of each other, which kind of makes the smudgy effect. Okay, or optical flow, which doesn't always work, but it will create this interpolated frame that shows you the movement from there, and an interpolated created frame, which is magically created by the software, and the third frame. That's where you do optical flow down there. Anyway, right, I hope you kind of understood that, and now I'm going to come and see if you've said anything to me. So sorry about that. He says it comes down to what software you're skilled at or familiar with. Main options are Premiere or Final Cut Pro. Well, they're both superb editing apps, but I think the trouble is that Apple screwed over the software and everyone stopped using Final Cut Pro, and all the television studios started throwing out their apples and started using Premiere on either an Apple or on a PC. But it was like they got rid of Final Cut Pro. I mean, you know, so there are some people who like, you know, swear by it and say it's wonderful, but it's kind of lost its edge, because I mean a lot of the Adobe products work with each other as well, and you know, Final Cut Pro is the editing package, but everyone's still going to use Photoshop and they're going to use After Effects, and they're going to then use Premiere because they all link into each other, where Final Cut Pro is just an editor. It's just a video editing program. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of people using Avid as well, but I mean, like Avid is, it's like, what the fuck? Because that is a weird, fucking stupid, like, piece of software which is designed for online systems and capture from tape systems and all sorts of nightmare shit that you don't really want to get into. But, you know, some people swear by Avid, but I think these kind of systems are, it's all gravitating towards Premiere, and the trouble with Premiere is that they're removing support, just like Final Cut Pro. I mean, the trouble with Apple's are every single iteration or upgrade of the operating system ruins all the software that you were using, so you have to kind of find new versions of all the software you're using to kind of keep up with it. So I can't be arsed with Apple's at all, really. I mean, you know, 14 operating systems in the last 8 years. Really? Not my cup of tea. I like software that I can use from 10 years ago is still going to work on my computer. You know, so I'm, you know, like old-fashioned software for doing. I've got stuff that at morphing software, you know, like Elastic Reality, you know, and that worked 10 years ago. Yeah, that'll still work on my computer today. You know, you try running a piece of software from 10 years ago on your Apple today, it won't work. So all this business like about, you know, Apple is for the graphical people and all the creative people. Yeah, so for the creative people who like spending money, who keep up with the technology and throw away all their old software and can't use their old stuff anymore. Yeah, that sort of creative person. Yeah. But that's beside the point anyway. But what do I call a lesbian dinosaur? A lesbosaur? I don't know. Please tell me, big creator. I'm not on screen anymore, am I? God, I have to keep fucking watching this bastard, don't I? There we go. There we go. Let's bring me back down so you can see what's going on. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm going to get on with using this OBS, to be honest. What do I call a lesbian dinosaur? And he says dot. So is that the joke? Dot. Or as the Americans call it, period. So is that the joke? Period? It's keeping me in suspense here. Sorry, I'm just loving to want to hear the joke. Anyway, so yeah. I mean, all I can suggest, I mean, guys, if you're really getting into editing and you fancy having a bit of fun, Mindset. Oh, it's Gareth from Mindset Central. Oh, yeah, right. It makes sense now. Mindset Central. Yeah, right. Okay. So Gareth, man, fucking hell, how you doing, man? Yeah. You know, these things are very powerful, and I mean, I picked up a piece of software called Action Director, which is only like 20 quid to buy outright. Now, it's not as powerful as the features you'll expect to find in Premiere and Final Cut, as in, you know, being able to dissolve and color correct and da da da. But if you just want to chop a little title here and there, and a transition, a dissolve, a crossfade, chop, output, maybe a bit of music on the bottom, right? These things are so fast. They're so fast. The only problem you've got is how do you get your footage into it in order to edit in the first place. Now, there's two ways you can do that. You can put your footage online and you can drag it down and put it into the storage of the phone. That's one way of doing it. Or you can get OTG adapters, which will allow you to plug a memory stick in. Or you can put your SD card in. Not if you're an Apple, obviously, because Apples are fucking retarded and don't allow SD cards. Fuck you, Apple, you twats. But if you've got an Android device, you can put an SD card in. But then the trouble is, then you've got to store your files on the internal memory before you edit. So it's best probably to keep your SD card in there and use an OTG card to get your footage in. But once the footage is on this, the speed is near real time. So Big Creator says the joke is censored. No, is it really? Hang on, let me see if there's a way to uncensor shit. I can't see any way to do that. Oh, that's really shit. Is it censored? Pooh. Let me see if I could. Hang on, let me go on you. Is there a way to? No, I can't uncensor your comment. Oh well, I guess I won't know. Oh, here we go. See, yeah, Mind Central is right. Maybe the YouTube clampdown begins indeed. Yeah. So there we go, Gareth. You want to get us guys on your Mindset Central podcast. You want to get us maybe on Skype with our video cams, and you can have us all in OBS, like in little windows. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 of us and yourself, and well, 4 total, isn't it? But and then you can see us all chatting away then as we're doing the podcast. Maybe do a podcast special where they can actually get to see us whilst we do the podcast. Maybe just a one-off, because it does add a bit of pressure when you've got to be on camera, and podcasts are kind of relaxed, and you kind of lose that little bit of freedom, and then you see me doing jacking, like jacking myself up with heroin and things like that, and forgetting the webcam's on. No, I wouldn't do that. I do snuff, but you get to see my snuff addiction then. So yeah, but maybe just as a one. Really? That's horrible. I can't believe I had to restart the stream myself. Seriously? Now it's saying no data. No data. Well, it's sending data to somewhere. Really? Oh. Hang on. I got something stuck to my nose. What's this? Piece of tissue paper? I don't know. Guys, are you there? It says my chat is disconnected. No. Reconnection successful. This is not very good. This is really not very good. Hey, IKS in the house. Yeah, man. Yeah. Fucking, I never used to get this trouble with live stream. Live stream was always much better than this. But, sorry for all you Americans. I'm now blowing my nose into a thing. This is highly offensive to Americans, apparently. Americans do not like this. I might as well be taking a crap in front of them. Americans think this is gross. You're supposed to hire a hotel room and hide yourself away and close the curtains when you do this. Not allowed. Not allowed. So yeah, I'm back. But you know what I had to do to get the stream to come back up? I was continually streaming out of OBS, but YouTube just wasn't picking it up. So the stream went down to 0 on OBS, and I'm like, it's not going to reconnect. So I had to press stop streaming and start stream again. I shouldn't have to do that. I should not have to do that. that is just like, this is why I want to do some of these tests first to kind of, just bugger about and test the resilience of the stream, because I do not want to have shit like this happen on a live broadcast. If I'm going to do live broadcasts in the future, I don't want any of this crap. So yes, but hiya, Ian, how are you doing, sir? So have you been? Oh, the if I go like this, hang on. Whoop! I'm going to count now. I'm going to count. Oh, the latency is only about 3 seconds at the moment. So that's not bad, is it? 3 second latency. Yeah, you got paranoid, Gareth, because of your talking about YouTube, and then I got cut off. Yeah, don't slag off the YouTube; they will cut you off. Yes. So, I mean, what's the stream looking like? I'm trying to stream in 1920 by 1080, which is something I could never do before with the old Circle Makers TV. I had to do it at a really like 480 or something like that with a low bit rate. But since I've got like fiber broadband now, I can kind of up the stream and see how it goes. And see, with my beefy machine, this is only taking 10% CPU to capture this and do all the multi-screens and stream it. So that's not bad, is it? 10% overhead, on your at 30 frames a second. That's pretty good going, I would say, for a machine to just like, it's hardly got its foot on the gas to be able to do this stream. He says it's a little blurry but watchable. Okay, have you clicked your little cog and turned it up to 1080p? Because I can do that myself and it's really clear on mine. Hang on a sec, let me go full screen. Yeah, I'm going to turn it back down to watch myself though, because I don't want to sort of max out the stream by not only sending but receiving back tons of data. But yeah, if you there we go, you see, if you turn your cog up to 720 or 1080, it might look a little bit sharper for you. It probably starts low and you have to move it up high, so depending on what type of device you're using. But hey, so Ian, Mr. IKS Exploration, see, I was hoping you would not discover this channel. This is my embarrassment channel. This is my getting drunk channel, and yeah. That's where I let my hair down and try and keep the other channel fairly serious, you see. And yeah, I'm still waiting to hear whether I'm going to get done for blackmail or not. I'm fingers crossed. I am drinking Kronenberg 1664, and yeah. Yes, Truth with Film says, I'm going to go and find the red door. You all know about this channel, don't you? Oh dear. See, they're all the people who are on my, seem to be like knowing about my Secret Vault channel, and I was hoping that maybe they wouldn't really connect the two, but yeah, everyone kind of seems to be connecting the two. So yeah, Sam Adams. Never heard of Sam Adams. Sam Adams, let's have a look what Sam Adams is then. Hang on. So Sam Adams beer. Sam Adams beer. Let's have a look. So Samuel Adams beer Wikipedia. Oh, this stuff. I tell you what, I didn't know it was called Sam Adams, but I kind of recognise that logo for some reason. But about the only American beer I'm familiar with in the UK is, I think it's Budweiser and Coors. Coors? Hang on. Budweiser or Coors, they're the only beers, American beers, I'm really familiar with. So yeah. Yeah, the reason I get this stuff is because it's got 4.5% instead of 4%, and it's only 50 pence more. So that's why I get it, because it's a little bit stronger. for not much money. Whoa, what's happened to the screen now? Whoa, see, this is OBS getting weird. I've got to do that to stop that happening. There we are. I prefer Wirestream. Wirestream is nicely powerful software. Doesn't fuck with you like this. If I change things in the preview screen, I have to then push them to the program screen. You know, it doesn't happen live. I can't just. I think there is a way you can go from into studio mode. If I do that now, is it live, full live output? Ah, if I do it in studio mode, then whatever I change on this screen is immediate output. I don't have to press transition for it to go across. That's live output now. Right, okay. I'm less likely to forget to press the transition button then. So, Truth with Film says, am I going to go back and find the red drawer? Well, I will, but the trouble is, I've got to keep going back and forth until I find a way in. Because we were very lucky when I was down there with the Exploring with Fighters crew. The way in was open, you know, so we were able to just get in there. But I wouldn't like to do any damage by, you know, trying to force my way in, because we could get in real trouble for that. So yeah, I would like to go back there, but they've reinforced a lot of these entrance ways, you know, and they've put brand new bigger bars there, and how the hell are we supposed to get in? How are we supposed to get in? And of course, the military are not doing anything there underground. Honestly, we're not doing anything underground. Honestly. But we're going to reinforce all the entranceways in and out. Yeah. But we're not doing anything there. Honestly. Oh, sorry. Blow my nose again. I took it really close to the mic then as well. I should do it back here, shouldn't I? Sorry. Why did I do that? It was very silly of me. It must have been really loud for you. Sorry, guys. Probably just like crackled the speakers, I expect. Right. So, I mean, I saw something tonight. Hang on, let me see if I can bring it up on Facebook. If I can bring it up on Facebook without possibly revealing all of my private everythings on. Yeah. Let me see if I can bring it up. Somebody sent me something earlier on, and it included documents. Maybe if I just save them, I can. If I save these documents to my hard drive, I can show you them. How do I do that? What's this button? Is that download? I fucking hate Facebook. I fucking hate it. It's so bizarre. I'm a bloody computer engineer, and I just still can't get my head round all the weird ways you're meant to do things. These are documents which were released apparently in 2011 in the Public Records Office, where it talks about RAF Rudloe Manor, which is the place that's above the tunnels that we were in, and it talks about me having been investigated by Rudloe Manor and the special branch, police special branch in the UK, secret police, and they were saying, should we let him come in and give him a little tour of the underground, because it might just appease him, or should we not? And they said he's not really going to believe that we're showing him all that there is, so we're not going to do it, and we should monitor him and keep him under investigation and find out who he's involved with. So isn't that funny? Right, let me see if I can save these documents for you. I've got to find a folder. I'll create a folder called AAAA. Right, and I'll put them in there. Here's document 1. Oops, hang on. Oh, see, Facebook. Lost the bloody document there. Right, okay, download document 2. Sorry about this, guys. They might like to see these. First time I've seen them, but I mean, when you find out from an internal government document that you've been investigated by special branch, it's kind of interesting. And the document's gone again because it's Facebook, so it's gone, and the document's gone again. And I scroll down till I find it. Here it is, right, page 3, download. When I download it, and it's just about to go vroom and disappear off the screen again. There it is. Right, now I click the X up in the corner, and it's gone again. It's gone all the way to the top of Facebook again, and I got to scroll all the way down to where the document is. I fucking hate Facebook. Facebook is a pile of steaming fucking excrement. Sorry. Yes. So let me bring up the documents now that I've saved them, which will be a lot easier than using Facebook. Surprise, surprise, because Facebook is not easy. Here we are, A. Right, let me bring the documents over. Right, okay, so this is the first one. Let me see if you can see what I can see. Not quite, hang on. Double click. There we go. So let me bring this over here. Does that work? That works. There we go. And make this full screen. Does this go full screen? Does it go full screen? Click, click. Oh, it's over here. Clicking in the wrong window. Click, click. There we are. That's better. So feast your eyes on this, folks. Feast your eyes on this. An internal government document from Provost and Security Service, PS Min AF, copy to the Secretariat of Air Staff in London, which is UFOs. And I don't know what Secretariat HSF is. I don't know what that is. PSO for AML. I don't know what that is. AOCSS. So I don't know what that is. Yeah? And it's like talking about me writing them letters about Rudloe Manor and asking questions about, here we are, we need to decide how to handle a persistent and unwelcome correspondent about activities at RAF Rudloe Manor and its lodger units. Okay, I've only just seen this today, this document. Okay, recommendation that we draw a line under our readiness to cooperate with him, i.e. that they are not going to cooperate with me any longer. They never did. They've never cooperated with me, right? These people have literally, I have stood on the guardhouse outside that place and said, so can I speak to somebody about the underground bunkers? And they bring somebody out, a press officer, and they've literally stood there, and she has, I've put it on my channel, right? She stands there with her stupid fucking hat on that's about this big, yeah, and she said, tunnels? What tunnels? What bunkers? We haven't got any tunnels. And I say, see that fucking protuberance in the ground? That's a doorway to your underground tunnels, love. And you're going to stand there and tell me you haven't got any tunnels? Really? This is, that apparently, you see, is their readiness to cooperate with me? Fuck off. Fucking readiness to cooperate with me. Yeah, I'll tell you what their fucking readiness to cooperate with me was. Fucking following me all the way from Rudloe Manor in a fucking police car, and when I get to Wales, pulling me over and saying you didn't have your safety belt on, yeah, and then fucking giving me a fucking 6-month driving ban for not having my safety belt on because they fucking gave me 9 points and a fucking 6-month ban. That's how they cooperated with me. They totally fucking cooperated with me. They went like this, fuck you, with Voltaire's fucking angry glove right up my ring. That's how they fucking cooperated with me. Yeah. Discussion. We have for some time been in correspondence at an official level with Mr. Williams, who has an interest in UFO research, and the role he believes RAF Rudloe Manor plays in this. Yeah, I didn't fucking believe it. I didn't fucking believe it. It was a fact. And you admitted it. So I didn't believe it. Yeah? Because a belief is a belief system. Like, I believe in God. No, you admitted it. Yeah? He's also appeared on TV programs like UFOs. Williams has repeatedly asked to visit RAF Rudloe Manor, and has both and elsewhere taken steps to enter military bases by unauthorised means. Have I? Where have I done that? Where have I done that? When have I actually entered a military base that is active? Active? When have I done that? Right? You think I've done it. You think I've done it because, like, but you don't know that I have done it. Yeah? But you think I've done it. And I have probably, I'm pretty sure, been blamed for a lot of stuff that I have not done. Okay? So anyway, so there we are. He is currently threatening a media and leaflet campaign, alleging both Rudloe Manor is keeping information relevant to UFO activities hidden. Well, hang on a minute. If you've got the central repository for all UFO reports before they get to London, would it be such a stretch of imagination to say that you know things about UFOs that you are not telling the public? I think you are. So, the MOD have been unhelpful and deceitful. Really? I'd call fucking following me and others in my car and get me fucking banned from driving. I'd call that unhelpful, wouldn't you? And deceitful? Deceitful? We've got no underground bunkers here. We don't know what you're talking about. I think that would be called deceitful, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that could be. I think that covers deceitful. He also claims to have a number of people prepared, as he puts it, to break their signing of the Official Secrets Act and speak about what really goes on at RAF Rudloe Manor. Yeah, good. Good. Stop being lying shits then to the public. Stop lying to the public. So tell us what you know. Okay. And then this is where they go on. As you know, RAF Rudloe Manor is an administrative unit providing parenting support for a number of independent organisations. This include Headquarters Provost and Security Services, which they moved because of the pressure I was putting on them about the UFO subject and what they did there. They fucking moved it. That's how much they didn't really want the pressure. They fucking moved the whole fucking place out of the place. Yeah? That's how much my research and investigations affected that place. They fucking moved. So, yeah. Okay. So RAF Provost and Security Services, i.e. Secret Service, yeah. The RAF element of the Defence Vetting Agency, yeah. Defence vetting, so vetting of secret and top secret, whether you can be a top secret or above top secret, classified, compartmentalised, operational person working inside the RAF, right? That's where they vetted them. So this is the highest level of security you could possibly want inside the RAF. This is where the shit went down, yeah? And they did used to investigate UFOs there, yeah? And then they've also got the controller of the Defence Communications Network, i.e. they control all the satellites in space, yeah? And they control what goes up and down to the satellites, encrypted data, military traffic, live camera feeds of missiles being fired, aircraft firing missiles down at the ground, and live feeds to the satellite and back, and all the telephone calls for all the people and everything they're doing, and radio chatter from the satellites to the British military, controlled from this place, where they also used to investigate UFOs. Of course, my little, campaign of telling people what's going on there was not what they wanted. So anyway, right. And nearby units at Cologne. What, you mean the air base that is all closed down, doesn't have a fence around it, you can just walk onto the runway? That place that has the most high quality, highly maintained runway that is immaculate, And all those buildings that are there, immaculate, immaculate. But it's not being used as an airbase, but could be turned on at a moment's notice if you want to get people in there flying in and underground. Isn't it, boys? Isn't it? But it's not in use, is it? It's not in use. Yeah, that place. Yeah, we all know how you play your little secrecy. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Yes, that's right. We know how you play your games. Yeah. And it's like, you know, as they're saying, I'm basically investigating all these areas and making them public knowledge, which they don't like. So, and they're saying that we deal with investigations of low-flying complaints. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, you do a lot more than that. Anyway, the station is also responsible on behalf of the Cabinet Office for the care and essential maintenance of a dormant underground facility. Dormant underground facility, right? If it's so dormant and there's nothing happening there, why do you have to put up all the bars stopping people getting into the nearby caves? It's because you've actually started doing stuff down there again, isn't it? Isn't it? But you don't want people to know that. Yeah, that's why you say it's owned by Hansons. You know, oh, Hansons own the caves. Hansons are the ones putting the bars up, not us. We don't care. It's Hansons. We really couldn't give a toss about these birds. It's Hansons. It's not us anymore. Boys, seriously, just fucking stop the bullshit. Stop the fucking bullshit. You know, it was bollocks. It was bollocks 30 years ago, and it's still bollocks now. So, yeah, right. The existence and possible use of this facility is considered sufficiently sensitive that knowledge of it is strictly limited. Regrettably, however, the merest hint of any underground accommodation in the miles, here you go, miles, it's 25 miles actually, miles of mostly disused tunnels. Ooh, I thought you said earlier on, dormant. Mostly disused tunnels, yeah? Well, they're not fucking mostly disused now, are they? Because now you spent 650 million on a base on the surface, which is now using the tunnels. Oh, yeah. And that is connected with GCHQ, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, it's not disused anymore. Okay. The MOD is not prepared to explain and expose this to public view. No, you're just going to fucking lie to the public about what's going on down there. Yeah, that's right. And can give rise to the sort of speculation demonstrated by Mr. Williams. What speculation, like the Caution Computer Centre, isn't in fact a nuclear command and control centre. You know, speculation. Yeah, that's right, speculation. Plenty of cars parked in the car park for a little place that just has a little entrance going into the ground, isn't it? A lot of speculation. Anyway, despite all our assurances to the contrary, Mr. Oh, please, Mr. Williams, please, whilst we're banning you for your fucking driving, yeah. Is that an assurance you're giving me there? You're assuring me by banning me from fucking driving. Yeah, we've assured Mr. Williams, but he remains convinced that RAF Rudloe Manor has something sinister to hide from the public. No, I'm just saying, you do these investigations and you ain't fucking releasing all the documents. Yeah, and that's still the case. Yeah, because you like to play it down like there's nothing going on and that you don't actually divert aircraft to chase UFOs. Yeah, that's right, you know. Anyway, one option, listen to this is really funny, listen to this. One option is to disabuse him of this misconception, is to accede to his demands and arrange a tour. Hang on, I've got to get the next document up now. How do I get it up? There we are. Accede to his demands for a tour of the tunnel complex, probably as a part of group of journalists from the local press. Such visits have been arranged previously. For example, representatives of the local authorities have been in there. Yeah. But for the reasons outlined above, Mr. Williams would not be allowed free access to areas of operational security. Oh, yeah. Okay. Or especially sensitive. Yeah. Something especially sensitive. And this could reinforce his conviction that there is indeed UFO activity which we are concealing from me. Fucking hell. Yeah. But you do just let a load of people down there anyway. You know, after you say something like this, you let people down there. You let Blue Peter down there. You let Channel 4 down there. You let all these people down there because you know they don't really know the full extent of what's going on down there, so they're going to be not asking the right questions and not looking at the right things, yeah, and they're going to go, oh yeah, tunnels, great, unused now, are they? Unused, are they, these tunnels? Oh great, so they're all unused, film these unused tunnels, and then they'll go home, and then everyone's going to be happy, because it's all not used anymore. Great! But if Mr. Williams goes down there, he's going to go, you are using some of these bits of tunnels. You are. There are those bits up there. Can you talk about these bits up there near the Caution Computer Centre? You know, can you talk about that? And they're going to go, oh, no, we can't. And that's going to look embarrassing. So, of course, you don't invite Mr. Williams there. You invite camera crews who don't really understand this stuff, hoping that it's going to just fucking fend it off. And take this away from the public's imagination. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Now here's where the Dirty Tricks campaign comes in, right? Here's where the Dirty Tricks campaign, and trust me, even though this document is talking about me, they're not putting in this document here. They're not putting in the document the things they've done to me. Okay. Special Branch have also taken an interest in Mr. Williams. They do not believe that he poses a specific threat to security, but they are alert to the risk that others may use him as a conduit for their own activities. Yeah? What? I'm going to be taking, like Russian spies in underground to see, or something like that, is it? Or maybe they control me. Maybe I am controlled by puppet masters who are going to make me do things. Is this it? All right, okay. So Special Branch have had visibility of Mr. Williams' correspondence with his command and recently asked that we do not formally cease dialogue with him. Oh, they want to keep some form of bullshit dialogue going to kind of see what I'm up to. So you can pretty much guarantee, you know what this means, don't you? They're monitoring my telephone calls. They're monitoring my internet. They're probably monitoring my mail. And they probably know what I'm up to and where I'm going. And they're tracking my phone. And they know what I'm doing, don't they? Because that's what they want. They want to know what I am up to. So therefore, yeah, interesting. But they're not telling people in this fucking document exactly what they're doing, though. Yeah. And he says this takes up an appreciable amount of official time, you know, and we should now restrict our responses to him essentially just in the repetition of points already made, i.e. just to fuck him off. Yeah. So just keep repeating yourself. Yeah. But yeah, they never really answered my questions, and they never really told us about where these other departments were. But guess what? Somebody leaked those documents, and I went to the Public Records Office and found them. Ha 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 ha. I found those documents. I was looking for them where I wasn't expecting to find them. Call me telepathic. I was looking through other things and I found documents which actually revealed a whole load of things going on in the intelligence community to do with UFOs, which ain't talked about by RAF Redlow Manor because they never admitted shit to me. Yeah. So guess what they say they might do, right? Right? They're worried here, right? They're worried, apart from my eccentric views, that I am going to secure my interest of my local MP, Mr. Alan Rogers, right? Or the MP for Wiltshire North, James Gray.
and I might encourage them to take an interest in what I'm doing. So if I might interest MPs in UFO investigations that are going on at this base where they're kind of denying things and trying to just fob me off, which they're talking about here, just keep him going, he's not listening to us. Yeah. If he starts to up the ante and get people like MPs involved in asking questions, yeah, then maybe we should invite the MPs for a tour of the underground complex. Yeah? To try and fob them off and go, look, guys, nothing, it's just an old set of tunnels, but don't show them the important bits. No, it's nothing. See, guys, yes, and thanks. Have we want a cup of tea? Want a gin or something? No. Fuck off out of our base, AUMPs, and don't fucking ask any more questions. Yeah? So what they're on about here is basically trying to get these MPs on board, yeah, so that they're not kind of listening to me anymore. Yeah, I don't think that would work, guys. But they're honestly, the military are on about trying to kind of woo these MPs so that they kind of like the military's angle on things and aren't listening to my angle on things. Yeah. So there we go, look. And do you know what? This letter is they're asking a minister, right? So what's this? Minister for Defence? The minister is content with this line to proceed in this way? There's a minister at the Ministry of Defence, right, who's making decisions about whether or not they should just fob me off, not allow me to go down, take MPs down there, take local journalists down there, but definitely don't let him down there. Don't let that Williams down there, because he's asking the right fucking questions. Interesting, isn't it? Do you like this? Did you like this document? I thought it was kind of funny. But who's the MP? Who's the MP? Who's making this decision along with the MOD? Who's the MP? Who's reading this letter? Who's this for? I'm kind of interested now. Who's this frigging letter for? But the thing is, you see, again, this sort of thing makes its way into the Public Records Office. But what won't make its way into the Public Records Office is all the little documents internally from Special Branch, yeah, and the intelligence services talking about how they're going to play dirty tricks on Mhat and fuck him up as much as they possibly can, yeah, and how they do things like when I get in trouble for crop circles, right, I'm fucking we're kept in for an abnormally long amount of time by the police because the Special Branch are in my fucking house rifling through everything they possibly can, right? So they keep me in the police station for longer than they're supposed to while Special Branch have their way and fucking... Yeah, right? That's what they don't put, you see, in these documents. They don't talk about the dirty tricks and who signed off on that. That doesn't make its way into the Public Records Office because that's classed as intelligence information. And as you should know, or maybe you don't know, they do not put intelligence information in the Public Records Office. So all that stuff will never be revealed. Yeah, all the shit they've done to me over the years, yeah, that will never be revealed. So interesting, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to come back and see what you guys have got to say now, because you're probably going to comment on some of this. I'm sorry, I've left you guys behind. But anyway, I thought I'd read that out to you. So, there we are. So, let me see if I can bring my camera back up a little bit bigger. Like that. La la la. So there we are. Lovely stuff. Wow. And belief implies non-existence. Yeah. Well, you know, they are kind of condescending, aren't they, with this stuff? You know, they're like, you know, well, there are no UFOs, so Mr. Williams with his beliefs and da-da-da-da, you know, it's very condescending stuff, considering they are the guys that investigate it. But they don't want the public to know that. So, of course, they They're just very condescending, aren't they? So yeah, I need to get an. Can you please put up with me whilst I go and get another can, because I'm going to try and get myself to sleep at some point, and it's coming up to 3 o'clock. So yeah, thanks Mindset Central. So I'm going to take. You see doggy right here, doggy. I'm going to take some of my shit downstairs, and I'm going to get another can of beer. What we should do, you see, is we should get Gareth to come in on Skype, and we shall have a chat about it. Yeah, people have got no idea some of the stuff I've done over the years. And some of it I can't really talk about because it's not. Yeah, but I've done my best to find out what the fuck's going on. But you know, I've not really broken into military bases and done stuff. I mean, like that. Not broken into them. I mean, I've gone around them. I've flown over them. Gone under them through tunnels. But I'm not really broken in. I mean, you know, Christ, if I'd broken into these places, I mean, I would have expected to have been fucking probably nobbled by now. So, but you know, they like to jazz it up a little bit more to justify their existence and whatnot. And it's amazing because they accuse me of active imagination and you know, like sort of believing in these things, and then what do they go and do? They're paranoid, you know. I've like broken into their base. So, you know, who's got the active imagination? It's kind of like they don't know what I've done, so they assume that I'm doing it, and then they base their actions on fucking me up and doing things to me to fuck me over based on, you know, their beliefs. But they talk to me about my weird beliefs. But, you know, my weird beliefs end up fucking getting me, you know, all the shit that I've got, you know, with them over the years. I lost my job because of it all, yeah? I lost my fucking job in the government because they were unhappy that I was looking into this stuff. So I lost my fucking job, you know. I've had my driving license taken off me. And, you know, I've seen things like, you know, a judge in court say, you know, what reason would the police have to lie? Fucking judges, mate. Fucking judges, corrupt as fuck. When they're told to fuck you up, yeah, they will do what they're fucking told because they are the system, yeah? Yeah, you expect honesty from the system when it wants to fuck you, like with Julian Assange, yeah? Yeah? You know, Julian Assange, they're trying to extradite him. They have trumped up these fucking charges in Sweden to make him look like a rapist, yeah? They have fucked him royally, yeah? And the British fucking government are using the legal system how they want, yeah? He's in solitary fucking confinement in jail, right? I mean, his health has suffered, yeah? He's really ill and he's not getting treatment, yeah? They fucking want this guy dead, yeah? And they want to make it look like, oh, just a poor accidental thing, nothing to do with us. They fucking want this guy dead, yeah? So fucking, you know, people think we live in a free society, but honestly, when you get to these high echelons of power, and you see, you know, things like with this you know, oh, what do we do with this Mr. Williams? Mr. Williams asking too many questions. You know, and I was fucking asking too many questions. You know, oh, he might become friendly with his local MP, and his local MP will start asking questions. So let's try and get his local MP on side. And we won't deal with Williams because we can't, you know, we won't deal with him, but we'll try and deal with everything around him to fucking lock him off. Yeah? That's what they're basically saying. In my opinion, that's what they're trying. That's what the inference is in here. You know, we will marginalise him. It's probably the best term. Marginalise. You know, and yeah, going to interview and investigate and fucking speak to people who are involved in the UFO community, and they're giving them false names. Giving these people false names and coming to speak to them, and then the questions get on to me, you know, like, what's Mhat Williams like? Who does he hang around with? What is their intent? You know, spending money on investigations like that, you know, fucking officers of the police who are giving people false names. Yeah? False names. Yeah? I mean, we live in a free society. We live in a free society. Now, if I went around with a wig on and a beard on, yeah, with a fucking false name badge, yeah, and climbed over the fence to a military base and fucking went inside and tried to fucking get some documents out and fucking using a false name, yeah, that would be considered bad. But when you're a government agent and you do that, that's considered good. When you're a police officer who's fucking going around under false pretenses to fucking speak to people and trying to get information out about me and handing out fucking business cards with fake names on, that's considered good. But if I was to drive around, you know, in a fucking car with false plates on it, yeah, with a fucking false ID and a fake passport, yeah, so that you couldn't prosecute me and fucking shit like that, right? If I have a fucking totally fake identity, that would be considered bad. But when you motherfuckers do it, it would be considered good. Fuck you. We do not live in a fucking free society. We do not live in a fucking free society. Fucking pricks. Makes me sick. Makes me fucking sick. It really does. And when you try and expose what they're fucking up to, when you try and expose the hypocrisy and the bullshit that's going on, when you try and expose that, yeah, then they fucking come after you. They'll make sure you lose your job, that you lose your fucking license, you know, your fucking, you know, money goes missing out of your fucking bank account, and then they leave a fucking a balance on your fucking bank account of £6.66. Yeah? How the fuck do they do that shit? Yeah? How the fuck do they do that? They're into everything. They're in your bank accounts. They're in your fucking everything. Yeah? How the fuck do they do that? Yeah? Because they're just trying to send you a little message. We watch and control everything you fucking do. Yeah? Message received loud and clear. Yeah. I don't have £6.66 left in my bank account. Yeah? Yeah? That was for sure. So yeah, somebody's having a little laugh. And message received loud and clear. What? And all this because of UFOs? Because there's nothing going on? Really? At your military base? There's nothing going on. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Yeah. And you're even prepared to fucking move the whole of that fucking military base away to try and get it away from where I live. So it's fucking, just get it away from him. Make it harder for him to go and see it. Hide it. Move everything around. Yeah, right. Fucking nothing to see here. Absolutely. But it's amazing what a difference one person can make, eh? That they would do that. Kind of funny, I suppose.
But anyway, so where's Mr. Mind Central Gareth? To get you on a Skype, man, so you can come and have a chat. To fucking ring in. I don't normally have my Skype on. He says, I'm here. But I'm interested. Oh, he says he's going to set it up. Oh my God, he's going to do it. Let's get Skype on. Let's it again. It's fucking done it again. Are you serious? Anyway, there we go. So I've got to get Skype. Oh, Skype's on now. There we are. So when he rings me, I'm going to better put my headphones on, otherwise it's going to go south really fast. So there we are. Yeah. I really should promote your... Oh, jeez. Stepped on the wire. Oh, I really should promote your show on more things that I do. And on my Facebook and stuff, so people can have a listen. They might be interested to hear my points of view. I don't know, and the other guys. I think I kind of get the general impression as well that a lot of people are fucking fed up with hearing my points of view and wish I'd shut the fuck up. But that's something for another conversation. Yeah, it's amazing how many people kind of like, they believe in freedom of speech, and they think that, yes, we have a right to freedom of speech and diversity and things like that. But when you tell them what you really think, they don't like it. They don't like it because it's not what they believe in or think, and they get quite narky about it. Like the people who didn't like the fact that I did the video called Devices is Dying, because of all the number of shops that were empty and closed down, and all the bloody coffee shops that had opened up, and how many fucking coffee shops do you need in a bloody in a small town? And like all the charity shops, and people went mental when I said, well, look at Devices, it's fucked, it's dying, because nobody can rent the shops anymore, because it's like, the only places that can rent them are bloody charity shops, probably because they get like a discount on their rates or something from the council. Anyone who wants to run a normal business is screwed, because the bloody, the rental on these shops is probably more than you can possibly earn in 4 months of trading. Wouldn't even pay for 1 month of rent, and so what the fuck? And people didn't like that. They told me, get back to Wales, cunt. So yes, but I think Gareth is online, so we will find out whether this is going to work in a second. So we've got 5 people watching us, and I have no idea who the 5 people are. And how do I know who these 5 people are, and if they don't leave a comment? I don't suppose there's no way to know, really. So yeah, so there's Mr. Gareth. I suppose if you want to try and Skype in, I'll see whether or not I can get this OBS to work out. You can even webcam in if you wish, Gareth. Webcam in, and we shall have a chat. Find out a little bit more about what you used to be up to when you were in Wales. Just looking at some bits and pieces I've just bought recently. Like this is quite an interesting bit of kit. I'll talk a bit more about this. Oh, Skype, man. They've determined to make Skype ridiculously large. Oh, you can squeeze it down like you used to. Oh, thank God for that. Because like it takes up the whole bloody screen, and you just want it down the side like a little chat window, So yeah, I'm there, Gareth. I am there. Yay. So if you wanna, yep, I'm there. Yeah,
I say go for it. Let's see whether he can. I'm assuming I have to use desktop audio. Oh my god, here he is. So let me just press the answer button. Hey, Mr. Gareth.
Hey, Matt. How's it going,
Hey,
man?
I can see it's deflecting on desktop audio, so I'm assuming you're coming out now through the sound system.
Hang on, let me tweak some shit here.
I can. Have you got a fan on or something? I can hear like.
I do have a fan.
Oh, it's
yeah,
okay.
hang on.
No, it's okay. It's probably quite hot where you are, is it?
Today, yeah. Can you see me or?
I can't at the moment. No, I can't see your webcam.
Got my webcam on. It's the wonders of modern technology.
You wouldn't be able to see me on the webcam, but you can see me on the live stream. So there's going to be a delay. But I can't. I don't think I can. You can. I kind of think you can't stretch your webcam two ways unless you've got some sort of special software for Skype.
All right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But I can't.
No
I
worries.
can't see your webcam. But hey,
It's on. I can see myself.
can you? Oh right.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, hang on. What's that say? Logitech. No, it's my webcam. Turn webcam on
Yeah.
for me.
Logitech too.
But it has.
I don't know, man.
It's weird, isn't it? Why wouldn't that come up for you?
Don't know.
There we go. There we go.
How about that?
Hey,
How about
there you go.
Hey.
I'm gonna drag you over here.
Okay.
I don't know. We haven't seen you before, man. I haven't actually seen you on a
Yeah.
webcam.
Here I am. It's
It's
me.
you. Hey. Now,
You know, isn't that amazing? We're 5,000 miles apart, and it's like we're in the next room. It's unbelievable.
yeah. Let me just get you over here because then that works. And then if I stretch me down and stretch you up, then there we go. So
See myself.
you can see yourself.
Yeah.
I've got to do it over here. I'm getting confused. I'm in this window trying to stretch you up, but that's irrelevant because that's the window I need to stretch you up on. So, yeah. But OBS.
You can see, my room is almost as untidy as yours.
Well, you keep trying. I'm sure you'll get there.
It's getting there slowly but
Yeah.
surely.
But yeah, well, it's a good link we've got. So the picture's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking good. The wonders of modern technology. Hey, those documents you showed, that's pretty fucking staggering, dude.
Well, it shows they weren't just taking it lightly. So yeah.
That's pretty amazing. How old were they? When were those documents created? Was it like years ago or recently or what?
Apparently, they appeared in the Public Records Office in 2011, and documents like that are supposed to be kept to one side for 30 years before being put into the Public Records Office. But I got a feeling that they're trying to pretend like they're being all honest and open with UFO stuff. So they probably released them early, but I'll pull them up again now so that I can. How do I do this? Yeah, no, yes. So let's have a look at the cover document to see what the date is. November 97. So it is
Okay.
97, 2007. It's 27 years later, you see. It's nearly 30 years before the documents came up.
So this was what, back in the 90s?
Yeah, but they released them 10 years ahead of when they could have. Yeah. So, yeah. Bring you back up.
That's amazing.
Bring you back up on screen. Yeah. But I don't know who I need to find out who the HD Secretariat HSF. I know what AS means is Air Staff. So that's the RAF. That's RAF Air Staff. HSF, I don't know what that is. And PSO/AML. And PSO, Air Ministries Operations. So Air Operation Command SS. I think that could be something like that. So, this is like the control and command and control rooms for shit going down, and they're all sitting there going like, so this Mr. Williams then, what do we, Mr. Williams, what do we do with a Mr. Williams?
It's really
Yes,
you're on their radar.
the Williams problem. In Rudlow Manor, what should we do? Should we bump him off? Is he just a fly in the ointment? Or, no, let's not bump him off. What do we kick him out of his job and just start fucking harassing him in his life? And yes, yeah.
What are you gonna do about the Williams guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
How much money do we appropriate to this Williams problem? How much budget have we got to deal with this man?
The Williams debacle. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that you're actually on their radar, though, dude. That they're you're in their sights. They're aware of you, pulling their beard, tweaking their fucking mustache and getting their attention.
Well, yeah,
which is quite impressive. My hat's off to you. That's pretty awesome.
Well, they've done some pretty devious things to people in the United States. I can't remember his name now, but there was somebody, and they were literally fucking with his head. They were like trying to make him think like he was going crazy.
The Benowitz, Paul
That's
Benowitz,
the one.
right? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Benowitz. Yeah, that was back in the early '80s. Greg Bishop wrote a really good book about that, Project Beta, or as you would say, Project Beta. And
Betamax.
Yeah. And yeah, they essentially drove him nuts.
Yeah.
He went crazy.
It's like a psyops. They knew they were doing it, and implying that he was being watched and his mail was being intercepted, and implying loads of things like kind of pressure tactics. I think it was like it was a pressure vessel, basically. They were trying to see how it was going to affect him, and then implying secret. He
was legitimately picking up secure transmissions from the base and seeing strange objects in the sky, and he concluded that it was alien craft. They became aware of him being aware of them, and then decided to fuck with him and basically drove him mental.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, this was this covered in Mirage Men, that documentary?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with Doty. Is it
Paul Doty?
What's his name? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was like one of the government disinformation officers, who was one of the main people back in the late '80s, early '90s, who was out there just putting a little grain of truth surrounded a big mountain of bullshit.
That's right. Yeah.
And watching how it spread and people ate it up and ingested it.
I think
which is the way the world works.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could easily work. I mean, I've seen a lot of people in the UFO community kind of become very paranoid and unsure of whether they should continue and this sort of stuff. And it doesn't take much, it really doesn't. And maybe this is why I'm kind of considered to be, they don't get it because, a lot of what they've done and probably tried to do, like, get him out of his job, show him we're boss, follow him round, chase him, kind of let him, and I'm just like, I'm up for it. Come on, then. You want to chase? I'll fucking ram you. I'll ram your fucking cars, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, then.
They can destroy your life if they have the desire or the will to do it. But it all depends on how far up the radar ladder you are. If you're just like a little blip, they're like, well, we'll just fuck with him a little bit. But as you start building up and getting higher and higher, it's like, okay, we got to take this motherfucker out.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, there's a certain part of me has kind of like said, well, my internal dialogue has said, I'm better off sticking with the crop circle stuff because I'm getting my paranormal fix and I'm enjoying myself. And, how far could I take that other stuff? Because, I mean, it is going to end up me jumping over into military bases, which I didn't really do. And I might have kind of joked a couple of times that maybe I'm doing that. And they picked up on this. They really picked up on it. Like, he's doing it. Like, am I? Where am I doing it? Surely you should know.
It's probably not a good idea to do that because you probably end up getting arrested or shot.
But we used to fuck with them all the time because they fucked with us. We were being watched. We remember seeing cars at the end of the road. My friend, I don't know, it's almost like telepathic, like knowing you're being watched, like this feeling somebody's watching you and you turn around and they are watching you. You know, that kind of feeling people talk about. My friend was like this. He said, Matt, there's a car and it's like way off, like about 15, 20 houses away. And he says, it's just been sitting there and it's like somebody sitting in the car and I think they're watching us. And I said, nah, fuck off, no. And he's like, you know, they're probably just waiting for somebody. He's like, no, I think they're watching us. I said, well, if they're watching us, then let's go and get a pair of binoculars and kind of like sort of really carefully like pop my head up so they wouldn't see that we were doing it. I went, yeah, he does look like he's watching us, man. I said, well why don't we'll fucking keep an eye on him and see what he does, and like eventually, why don't we let him know that we're filming him, you know, or taking photos of him and see what he does? And the thing is, we're inside a window now, so it's like we're way back in a not illuminated room, so there's no way you should really be able to see in from a daylight. It's not even at night time, it's daylight, yeah? So he's not going to be able to see us, but why don't we kind of let him know and move towards the window with a lens, and then if he is watching us, we'll get a reaction. Because he's not going to want to be photographed. He's going to kind of like look away or duck or something, you know. And why don't we do that? So we did that and was like literally just like popped up the camera, moved it towards the window like Arai, and he fucking smiled like that. And then he fucking started the car up and just drove off.
Well, do you think a lot of it though is like just intimidation? You know, they do it on purpose. They let you know that you know, he can see that I'm here. He knows that I'm here.
That's what it was.
Just to kind of push your buttons and get you thinking, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
They're watching.
That's right. Yeah. But I just thought it was hysterical because it's like they're obviously trying to spook us, you know?
Yeah.
And it ain't working because I'm just getting more interested. Like, how close are we getting to the truth? I mean, like, they would take this time to do that to us.
It's going to have the opposite effect, though, right? Because I mean, if what you were doing truly was a bunch of fucking nonsense, it was all make believe bullshit, and it didn't amount to nothing. Do you really think they'd give a fuck? Do you really think they'd invest time and money in following you around unless there was something to what you were doing?
I don't know exactly, and you know, I even think there might have been a tracking device on my car because we went somewhere one night that was an old disused military base, but actually there may have been more going on there than we realized because we thought it was all disused. And when we got there and we were just about to kind of do something, my mate, I can't tell the whole story because I just have to keep this kind of basic, but something spooked him and he said, I want to get out of here. And I said, okay. So we went to go, and there were a line of police cars heading to where we would have been.
Jesus.
They fucking knew where we were, and they were coming to get us big time. And without giving too much away, I've told people privately, but without giving too much away, I wasn't hanging around. That's all I'm going to tell you. And it was like fucking Dukes of Hazzard. That's all I can tell you. It was like fucking Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And I think something must have been on my side because I have never been able to drive that fucking cool before. I was like, I honestly, I'm not a fucking rally driver, but something happened that fucking night. It was like I was channeling some like fucking Colin McRae or something. Yeah. So.
But I think anyone who starts delving into this subject and starts, turning over rocks and looking around and trying to figure out what's going on, you're gonna start to get just a little bit paranoid initially.
Yeah.
I know when back in the mid '90s when I started really looking into this for real, as opposed to just watching sci-fi films and stuff. When I really started looking into it, like shit, this shit is really happening. You start to think like fuck. And weird stuff happened with, I mean, not to the extent that what happened to you, but little weird things would happen.
Yeah.
And it really add fuel to the fire, you really start thinking, oh shit, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a visit from the black helicopters, and I know even me just saying that right now, it sounds like I'm a fucking mental case. Saying the fucking black helicopter, it sounds like I'm out of my mind. but I remember distinctly. In fact, I have videotape of it somewhere.
Whoa.
It was about 97, 98, and I was in the house. I'm here in LA. I'm kicking back on the bed, just chilling, and my wife is there. And all of a sudden, the windows in the house start fucking rattling, rattle, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And I go outside into the backyard. I'm not even exaggerating. There's a fucking like a black army attack helicopter about a 60 to 100 feet above the roof of my house, just going like crazy. So I run in the house and I grab my camcorder and I go outside and I point it up and I start filming this thing. And I called to my wife. I said, "Call the police. Find out what the fuck's going on." So she calls the police department and asks them, like, "What's going on? There's a army helicopter over the house." The cops are like, "You know, we don't know what the hell is. No, we don't know nothing. What are you talking about? We haven't, you know, we know nothing about this." And then it took off and it started circling the house, and I was standing outside filming it, and then it just vanished. And it was very surreal. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
surreal.
I mean, you know, there might be some sort of like, I wouldn't say like a. It's almost like a kind of, they have a list of things they have to do that day. It's like, can you imagine in like a military base, it's like things to do today.
Yeah.
Training, right? We've got to learn how to low fly, remember how to do hard bank turns. Oh, also turn up to this guy's house. He lives at this address, and buzz him and fuck him around for a bit. And then fly back and see if you can kind of, you know, like, you know, and it's like a list of things on your checklist, right? Da-da-da-da. Oh, we haven't fucked with that guy yet. Shit. Oh, yeah, shit, we forgot. Right, okay. Oh, yeah, right, that's okay. He's probably suitably fucked with now. And then back off to the airbase. It probably does. It happens. Somebody's got to do that. It's somebody's job.
There was another time in the 90s. This was in the mid to late 90s that freaked me the fuck out too. Is I had a desktop tower computer on my desk, and it was a Pentium, whatever, I can't remember, but it was like a tower, and this is how old it was. It had a CD-ROM and not a DVD-ROM, right? So I had the CD. I hit the eject button, it ejected. I put the disc in, closed it, and I could not get the disc to fucking load. So I'm trying all these discs, but what the fuck is going on? And then I start downloading drivers, trying drivers. That doesn't work. I'm like, what is going? This was working fine yesterday. So I finally open up the case of the PC, and the cables of the drives had all been pulled out and disconnected.
Don't fuck me, man.
No, I'm being serious.
Fucking hell.
And I went cold. My whole, you know that feeling? My body just went cold.
Somebody been in there.
Someone had been in the house and pulled all the plugs out of, and nothing was moved, nothing was stolen. It was just like, we're gonna fuck with him.
And what were you doing at there? Was it still sort of like UFOs and things like that at that time?
Yeah, UFO stuff.
Jesus. I mean,
all the plugs were pulled out, and I, you know, you try to rationalize it in your mind, like, well, could I have done that? Did I? No. Did my wife? No, she doesn't know how to fucking turn the TV on, let alone open a computer.
Kids, you know.
No, I didn't have kids at that time, and it was very unnerving, you know.
Your wife didn't suspect you of infidelity, employing a private detective.
No, nothing like that. It was just very surreal, you know, very strange.
That does sound very strange, yeah. I mean, I believe in poltergeists and things like this, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility that things could fuck with you that ain't even the military, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you.
But, you know, to say that is kind of like, people think you're fucking nuts, but I've seen shit flying off shelves, you know, so...
No, absolutely. I have also.
Yeah.
I grew up in a haunted house in South Wales. The house that I spent the first half of my life in was...
I thought you were going to get me a photo of it then. You would look like you were... Oh, and here's a photo of it.
There's a photo
it is. Sorry.
Of the wire. Yeah, I remember I saw a lot of weird stuff. You know these things about shadow people? That would be a common occurrence. And I always thought it
Sorry.
was like normal, that you'd see these things out of your corner of your eye, or you'd see someone walk past the doorway when there was nobody
Yeah.
there. But it was only when I moved and I left the house and I moved somewhere else, and all these experiences and all these things that I'd seen just stopped,
Yeah.
and I never saw them again.
It's bizarre.
Weird, huh?
Bizarre.
Yeah, very
And
strange.
was this a house you grew up in from being a child in
Yeah,
Swansea? Yeah.
yeah, yep. In Swansea,
Yeah.
yeah, in Swansea.
I had some weird experiences. I mean, I may have talked about them. Things like waking up at night, and the kind of thing of like not being able to move. I kind of did a couple of times, But then there was other things like I woke up and I'm like, why am I bolt right awake? I'm like sort of asleep, and normally I'm such a lazy fuck that like when I wake up, I want to turn over and go back to sleep. I'm like every time I just wake up, it's like, oh, bed is so good, I can't get up now. Oh no, sleep again. I can sleep. I could sleep a whole day, easily, for the fact that I wake up and my brain says, you really should get up, even though this is lovely. You really should do something, and you have to let the dog out. So, and you should pee. And I'm like, no, go back to sleep. Don't pee. You can hold it in. I'm like, no, get up and pee. This is painful. No, sleep.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, fucking. That's my way. But for me to just like go ping, and I am wide awake. My eyes are right open.
Uh-huh.
It's a weird experience. I mean, it's like that is not normal experience. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why am I so awake? And I'm like, can I get back to sleep? And I'm like, I can't get back to. I could not get to sleep now. I could never get to
Yeah.
sleep now. I'm just too awake. I'm just like bing. And I'm like shit. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all of a sudden the dog starts barking downstairs, and I'm like, why is the dog barking? It's like the dog doesn't normally bark like this. The dog's bark, 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 bark. I'm thinking, have I heard something that's woken me up? Has something like kind of got me up? And then there was, I can't remember if it was the same experience because it's such a long time ago now, but there were a few of these things. It's like where, like, I think there was a knock on the door and I had a patio window, literally where I slept like this. And right beside me is a patio door, double patio door. So my bed's here, patio door's there, and I'm like literally like a sort of like that on the fucking window of the patio door. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I literally jumped out of the bed, pull the curtains apart, open the door, get out there, and there's nobody anywhere. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I'm like, and that happened a couple of times, like knock, 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 knock on that patio, and I would run and open it, and not like fear. I wasn't like a fearful person with ghost things. I like run towards them. I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that? I'm like, I'm not afraid of them. I have been afraid on occasions, but not those occasions.
Right. Right.
And just like, yeah, just weird shit like that. And I'm like, is my brain make up hearing knock, knock, knock that loud? Would my brain do that to me? I don't know. And you never kind of know, but like the weird thing was waking up, the dog barked, then the dog, duck, 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 and it's like, yeah, all three things happening in succession. Like there's something, like something is freaking the dog out, something's freaking me out, and then something's going doom, doom, doom. So it's like something trying to get your attention, like wake up,
Yeah.
like maybe like in your life, wake up. Maybe you're not experiencing everything that is there. Wake up. Maybe we're in that virtual reality game, and we've got it. We're meant to take the headset off now. Wake up, Matt. This is not where you're meant to be.
I was thinking that today. I was watching a fly, and the fly he was doing like figure eights, just flying around the place. And I was thinking like, well, maybe that's just an algorithm in a software program, just running around in this in this construct of reality that we're experiencing.
Maybe they're the monitoring devices for the New World Order.
Could be.
Yeah. They always fucking get in, even though the windows are closed. They fucking get in somehow, don't they?
They always get in. So what's happening with crop circles over there this year? Is it a booming year or not?
Yeah, it's not been a good year really. I think a lot of the circle makers are kind of feeling a bit jaded about doing stuff, and then somebody came up with this wonderful idea and said,
I saw your video about that
"Yeah,
where you were like, you were like,
genius idea.
it's nothing to do with me, nothing to do with
It's
me,
nothing to do with me,
but,
guy."
but
Yeah,
this video, this is a great idea.
yeah. So
Yeah.
somebody decided that maybe the best thing to do to kind of teach these fucking researchers who think that everything belongs to them and that circle makers are just their bitches who need to go out and fucking do this shit and then fuck you, you know. They gotta fuck you. Thank you very much for the crop circles and fuck you. So they said, well, you know, why don't we kind of make a point like, you know, you ain't having the locations, so you ain't visiting them, you know? Because people often say that the footage is fake and the crop circles are, you know, all this sort of stuff. You know, when you show people footage of you making them, and then they say this, the footage is fake. So it's kind of like, well, okay, we're going to show you the crop circle by footage. We're not going to tell you where it is. And maybe at the end of the season, we'll tell you where it is, but it's going to be all grown up and messy by then. So you're going to go, because we've already been told that the one we released was CGI. A footage of me flying around it with a drone for several minutes and all that, you know, and kind of like blanking out the horizon so you couldn't see the horizon, so you couldn't tell where it was. And, you know, literally somebody has said, that's all CGI. And I'm like, if that was...
People get,
I should be working for Industrial Light and Magic. Honestly, I would not be living in this small fucking room, right? Which I can't move, I can't fucking bang, 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 right? This is my life, is in this fucking room, yeah? I would not have to live in this fucking bang 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 room if I had skills like that, CGI skills.
I think people are they get so invested in their belief system. You know what I mean? They invest so much time, effort, and money into a particular avenue of belief that even when evidence that's contrary to that belief comes into play, they ignore it. They can't face it. They can't look at it. They cannot take a step in that direction. And you know, even because they're invested, you know, they won't look at it, which is a damn shame because there's so much evidence. I mean, from what we've talked about this in the past on the podcast, right? In like that you can't say that all circles are man-made. You can't say 100% of all circles are man-made, but the vast majority, 99.9999 whatever, are.
I could say it. It just upsets people a lot when you say it. I could say it, but it upsets people. You know. Historically, who knows? You know, we don't know those people, so we'll never know. They're dead now. You know, but the stories, even from like the original Mowing Devil, it just had so many red flags. Like, you know, I mean, a man knocks on a farmer's door. Can I mow your field for you? And he goes, I don't need you to mow my field. I'm a fucking farmer. I mow my own field, motherfucker. Fuck off. Thank you very much, but no. So he's like, oh, well, okay then. And he's like, I'll curse him. You know, it's almost like, did he curse him and the devil came and did it? Or did he curse him by he went out and did it? You know, and then everyone starts freaking out because there's some weird circle. And we are just talking probably just a little circle. It's been exaggerated now. It's probably just a tiny, like, fucking circle about 5 feet across, you know, that's been stamped down with this guy's feet. And everyone's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I remember distinctly though, in the mid 80s, when mid to late 80s, when crop circles really were starting to kind of permeate the public consciousness, and it was really starting. It was on the news, and people were talking about it, and it was starting to grow and grow and grow. Probably like 85 to 89 ish, and then Doug and Dave came in like 90 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I remember people calling them saucer nests. You remember that? They were calling them saucer nests and things like that, and associating them with UFOs. And I remember thinking, well, how did they make that connection between the crop making in circles and flying saucers. It made no sense to me at all, and I couldn't make the connection
Yeah.
mentally between the two. But some people did,
Yeah.
and still do, obviously.
Yeah, reed beds in Tully in Queensland. See, I've got that off. Yeah, I said it so many bloody times, but yeah, it was Doug and Dave. One of them, Doug Bauer, was living in Australia, and there was this story, like a paranormal story, that kind of hit the press, and for some reason, people kind of like went woo, and they said, oh, maybe its saucers have landed, and it's just like a couple of depressed reed beds. I mean, there's probably photos of it as well, like if we looked it up. So it's like the Saucer Nest, Tully, Queensland. There's probably the original photos here. Let's have a look. Images. Here it is. Look, I mean, it's small. Hang on, look at this. Hang on. Saucer Nest. Drag it over to here. Okay, can I see what you're seeing? What am I seeing? There we are. Look, there it is on the right hand side. So we've got, which is a high-res one, 500, 300. There's a bloke there for reference. Let's go for this one because you can see there's a bloke sitting in the middle of it. I mean, that would take me about 2 minutes to create that with a stomper board. Admittedly, it would take a lot longer to do it with your feet and may not be so, so pristine, because by using a board, you're spreading your weight out across a larger area. If you use a foot, it's almost like going to crack a lot more crop. So it's almost like somebody could have got a piece of cardboard or a piece of wood and just like pushed it around a bit, with their foot on top of it, and kind of like a snowboard would have done it. A snowboard would have been ideal for that sort of thing. And they went flipping out, like, because of this circle.
Yeah, it's when you think that people can get sucked into this so easily, right? I mean, connection between the mysterious circles in the crop and now flying saucers, and then by extension aliens, all kind of ties in, and done so easily when it's all created by people. The mass manipulation of people's minds, it's trivial. And for those in power who want to sway opinion or implant ideas in the general populace, this is the key to this. This is child's play, where you can get people to swallow something that has no connection. A circle in a crop and an alien spacecraft. How the fuck are those two things connected? Please, somebody tell me. How is that connection made? I have no idea. But someone says it, and suddenly, oh well, there you go. There's the fucking answer right there. It makes no sense to me, but there it is.
It's the old thing I think of, like, who would you believe a lie from, a beggar or a king? And,
exactly.
And the emperor's new clothes. Yeah. And I mean, I don't mean to disparage, and please don't make me go to hell. But I mean, I'm just kind of thinking about religion and like the life of Jesus and how he spread the 2 loaves to the whole 1,000 people or something like that, and how he parted the waters and walked through. And I'm just like, it doesn't take much to exaggerate these stories out of all belief.
Well, It doesn't. But when you think of something like that, like religion in general, like religion usually starts when people are very young, right? And when people are very young, you can tell a child anything and they will fucking buy it. I mean, I remember when I was a kid sitting in the kitchen and the radio was on, and I asked my mother, "Where's the voices coming from in the radio?" And she said, "Oh, there's a little man who lives in the radio, and he speaks the news." And there's me, like 4 or 5 years old, like, "Oh, okay." Just immediately like, oh, all right, well, that makes total fucking sense to me. And it's the same with kids. When you tell kids these stories, they just fucking buy it immediately.
That'd be known as child abuse these days. You could get some money out of your mum. You could take her to court and sue her.
It's locked in their brains. Yeah, right. I've often thought that if religion was taken out of childhood completely, let's just say you lived your entire life with no inkling of what religion was, and then suddenly when you're 25, they say, okay, now we're going to tell you about, God and all this stuff. 99% of the people would be like, Fuck off. You're out of your mind. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you buy it.
Yeah.
You know, you fucking buy that shit.
And I mean, I don't know if this is kind of how some of the magic of the crop circles work, but I've kind of I've intimated this to people in the past. It's like when you get people excited in a ghost house, in a haunted house, or standing on the top of a hill and you see a strange light in the sky, and I was looking at have you got a different? That's a different beer this time, is it?
Oh yeah, this is.
I was going to say it hasn't got the same.
This one is China Bock.
Bock.
It's Texas from Texas. It's from San Antonio, Texas.
Right, cool, man.
It's really good. It's
what's the sort of percentage
delicious.
on that? Just out of interest. Sorry, I'll come back to the.
That's the thing. A lot of these beers over here, some of them don't even say what the percentage is. This is 100%. No, this is. I don't even know.
Whoa, they don't even tell you. That's crazy. So you don't know. You don't know how pissed you're going to get with one pint.
Some do.
Yeah.
Some will say like 4 or 5%, whatever. But most, especially the American beers, they don't tell you where the what alcoholic volume is. But if some of the import ones, like if you drink like, I don't know, Stella or Grolsch or shit like that, that'll tell you what the percentage is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry. I just saw you drinking it, and I thought I couldn't see the logo on it, but yeah, because it was different to that blue one you were on about from a minute ago.
Yeah, I finished those off.
Yeah, all gone.
On to the next.
Nice. Yeah.
Speaking of UFOs though and stuff, there's a really good book I'm reading right now. I'm about halfway through it. It's called American Cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend it if you're in the book reading vibe. It's about UFOs, religion, and technology, and it's written a religious professor, and it's very, very good, very compelling. And she went into it as this is a bunch of bullshit, and she comes out of it as there's something going on here.
I want to watch an interview with Russell Brand and Rupert Sheldrake, which I saw came up earlier on my YouTube stream.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to hear what he could kind of get out of that kind of dynamic. But
the book he came out with, I think it might have been in the 90s. I don't know, the sense of being stared at. That is fucking mind blowing, dude. And we've all felt that, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting in a crowded room and you feel it burning at the back. You turn around and there's somebody looking at you.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier on about knowing the guy was spying on us out of the window.
Yeah, I've often done that to people. I've said to people, I'm like, I can prove to you right now that psychic powers work. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, okay, here's what we do. And then through you go find you're in a crowded room. I want you to pick anyone in the room randomly. Just pick someone. The only proviso is they cannot know that you're in the room, and they got to have their back to you. I want you to stare at the back of their fucking head. Just stare at their head, and I guarantee they will turn around and lock eyes on you. And they're like, oh my God, it worked. And I said, okay, now tell me, what's the mechanism? How did that work? What are the gears that are turning in reality to make that work? And it does. And they're like, fuck, I don't know. That's fucking psychic powers for you.
I had a one. Oh, sorry.
No, it works every time when you try that. It's mind blowing. What is causing that? How does that work? When you think of it, should not work. It absolutely shouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it does.
I mean, all this stuff about quantum physics, and they're saying about stuff could transcend even time, like quantum realities could transcend time. So quantum entanglement items could, if you spin something here, it can spin on the other side of the universe at exactly the same moment. None of this like it takes 100,000 or million years to cross space. It happens instantly. So hang on a minute, this means then that we could communicate across space instantly.
Sure.
So hang on, maybe we could travel across space instantly, and and it's like you start to think about bigger possibilities. But it's like
to me, it's almost like the realm of magic. It's almost like this thing that we've been told, all religions are all just a joke. But now, if you think about something, you can affect something at a distance. Well, hang on, that's telepathy. This is magic. This is shit that science is not supposed to be allowed to kind of believe in. And it's almost like as if you're kind of almost trying to pull us into, well, maybe, but from a science point of view, not a magic point of view, but a science point of view, says you can think about something and bring it into reality. Isn't that magic?
Matt, 1,000 years ago, what we're doing right now, we probably would have been burned at the stake for doing it, because it was work of the devil. You know, we are. I mean, think about this, dude. It's amazing. We are literally 5,000 miles apart from each other right now, and we're yapping away like, you know, we're in the same fucking room. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Maybe when people didn't know that they weren't supposed to do this shit, it wasn't a problem to do it. Maybe the fact that we've actually been told you're not allowed to do it is bad. Don't speak to the spirit world. Remember this big thing of like religions, don't speak to the spirit world, it's bad. Some religions are not like that. They're kind of more open to it. Like, that's cool. It's you can do that. That's fine. You know, but in the West, I kind of like Western religions really got to be up their fucking bum about, you know. They tell you when you die you go to heaven, and they tell you there's a God, but you can't communicate with God, and you can't communicate with anyone who's heaven because that's bad. But they're there. It's like, you know, we're going to tell you there's a cake in the fridge, but you're not allowed to eat it. You know?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of wonder about those things, and it's like almost like you have to believe in these things in order for them to even be allowed to work in your life. If you don't believe in these things and you've kind of gone with this like scientific, you know, atheistic, and there is, you know, you're not allowed to believe in these things, then they won't exist. And you can do scientific experiments all day long and they'll prove there's nothing there. But if you're somebody who believes in these things, you can't always manifest them on demand. And it's almost like as if the cosmic joker doesn't allow you to do that. But when you're on your own, it'll go, ha. It's like, and then you think, why are you doing this to me on my own, you fuck? Just let me show some other people. And they're like, it doesn't work like that. And it's like, fuck's sake, you know?
It doesn't. I think you mentioned on one of your videos a while ago, and I remember watching it and thinking you were right. Was that, you know, if you'll ask for something, or you'll go through some process and you will get it, but it will not be the way you think it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll be something that you do not expect. Yeah. It's a little bit like, remember that old horror story, The Monkey's Paw?
I know the name of the story, but hang on, monkey's paw. This is like somebody has been given a monkey's paw and it's cursed. What does it do?
Yeah,
what does it do?
So the guy
Bad luck.
His beloved son. The son was his son was the light of his life. Was everything in his life, and his son dies.
Yeah,
and he's destroyed. He's heartbroken, and he gets this monkey's paw, this magic paw. And they say, if you hold the monkey's paw, you can make a wish, and whatever you wish for will come true. So he holds the monkey's paw, and he says, I wish my son was back with me. I wish my son was alive. And then there's a knock on the door. He opens the door, and his son is back, but he's like a zombified. He's just crawled out of the grave.
Yeah, he's just reanimated, but still dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So he got his wish, but it wasn't what
he wanted. Yeah.
Wanted, you know, and it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I like these kind of stories when you see them in Hollywood things. It's like, you know, you do a deal with the devil and you go like, I want this thing, and you know, and then the devil goes, sure, but it's a twisted version of what you wanted, and you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life that you asked for that. In fact, you'll probably say, can I do a deal to get out of what I asked for? You know, and even that's not going to be what you want. I like those sorts of stories. They're kind of funny, but yeah, you got to be careful what you ask for. And what was the thing I always used to say, like as a kid, you know, it's kind of like had this thing of, I used to think about stories like this, and I used to think, well, if you had a chance to have a wish to have whatever you wanted, what would be the ultimate wish that would lock into it every type of possibility that would mean you don't get fucked? And I used to think about it, it's like, but what about this? But you can't say that because they'll get you like this, and then you have to have this, and you know. And the great one would be like the recurring. Can I have just a wish that allows me to have as many wishes as I want? You know, that would be the ultimate. But they're like, oh, but you can't. That's the one thing you can't ask for.
Yeah, no wishes for multiple wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but you have to be so specific, so like granular in what you're asking for, because otherwise it will spiral and it won't work out the way you want it to work out.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
I've always thought to myself, because I you know, I'm kind of scared of the idea of doing magic on that level, like, you know, the Aleister Crowley type thing. And I've kind of read a lot of horror books and sort of, and they kind of they warn you about those sorts of things, and I'm not you know, not silly enough to not sort of heed those types of warnings. And I have read some of these like magic books just to see what's in them, and it's like, this doesn't make no sense. It's all gobbledygook. It's like, you know, symbols and, you know, doing this and that. And I'm like, who the fuck does this shit? And then half of the stuff about it is you have to actually almost convince yourself to hallucinate that stuff is real and they're in front of you. And then when you believe it's real and you can see it in front of you, it is in front of you. It's like almost you have to believe that what you've created is the reality. And that kind of reminds me of this thing. What was it called? The Secret, that everyone, you know, a lot of these Hollywood goes on about The Secret. You have to believe it and live like it's real, and then it will become reality.
Well, it's like that whole thing, you know, the fake it, you make it, right? You know, that whole mentality where you get a job somewhere and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you gotta fake it till you make it. So you pretend like you do, and then the people around you believe your pretense, and then before you know it, you're not pretending anymore. It's reality.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's if you believe in the paranormal, it does become real. You know, it's kind of like if you believe in it, then things start happening. They'll even happen to people that are with you, you know, and kind of, yeah. But if you really don't want to believe, you won't. I gave a tab of LSD to a friend of mine who's very cerebral once, and I gave him an LSD tab, and I would have tripped my bollocks off on this of his strong shit, right? and he's the most fucking straight-laced. He don't believe in UFOs. He's got a scientific answer for everything. This fucker did not trip.
At all.
Nope, not at all. He swears blind. He just like he was looking for it. He was like analysing it. And he was so analysing it, and he just the trip just must have gone. Not for you, not for you, sir. You're not ready for this. Not for you, sir.
So what do you think about? Do you know what NPC is?
NPC.
Yeah, it's like a gaming term. Like not non-player characters.
Oh,
so
NPC, right? Okay, sorry, yeah.
You play like a massively multiplayer video game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you interact with real people who are also playing the game, and sometimes you interact with non-player characters, NPC, characters that appear real and they talk to you and converse, but they're just a part of the computer program. They're not real.
I think I've heard of this. It's used sometimes like a way to kind of mock some people in a meme sense. It's like, hang on.
Yes, it is. But what if there was a reality there? What if there are only a finite amount of real people on Earth?
Like souls. Where do all the new souls come from?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. No, for sure. Yeah. You know, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
But what if there's only a finite amount of people? And the billions of other people that we encounter or see or whatever are NPCs. They're non-player characters that interact with us, but they're not real. Did you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I've had people swear blind to me. They've seen me in places I've not been. You know, like
really?
And I've heard this a lot. I'm interested in this concept of like, you have your doubles out there, but they're physical. They're actual physical, real people as well. You know, you could actually go meet them. They live like in other places, but you could go meet them, and there's a finite amount of generalizations of faces and characteristics, and you know.
So multiple times throughout and I know I'm about to tell you something right now, and even before I even say it, in the back of my mind is saying, "Don't tell him. you're gonna sound like a fucking idiot.
But the hairs on your back have gone up because you want to tell me.
Yeah, no, I do want to tell you. But my mind is saying, don't say a word. You're gonna sound like a mental case. But there's been multiple times in my life where I've met people, and I have no clue who they are, but they act like they know who I am. And one springs to mind. I was checking into a hotel in Long Beach in California, and there was two girls behind the reception, and I swear to you, they were acting like I'd been there a million times before, that they knew who I was, and I was very confused by the way they were talking to me. But and looking back on it, all I could think of was, well, why the fuck didn't you say something to them like, hey, do you know me, or say something like that? But I never did. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, not had anything like that myself, but I know stories about similar things like that. But yeah. I've heard I kind of in a slightly different sense, like people who have these ghost experiences where they turn up to places that don't exist, and they try to go back to those places and they're not there, and then they go, well, I walked in through the door and there was stairs, and I kind of and I met these people, and I gave them money, but they kind of looked at my money like they didn't accept it, but they kind of like, then they did accept it, but it was like I gave them dollars, but then they gave me old money, and then like just weird stories like that but these people knew them, these people accepted them, even though they were wearing different clothes and they had different money. It's almost like as if maybe
time slip.
Yeah, time slip, but it's almost like as if there's a translation thing going on as well. It's like, maybe there's not enough souls, maybe there's not enough time, and for the person here connecting to the past, it translated their looks and their money and their speech and their experiences into something that was compatible both ways. So they're handing them modern money, but what gets actually handed over the other side is old money. And you speak one language, but what comes out the other side is a different language. I don't know. I mean, just like that's kind of that kind of resonates with me. It's almost like as if maybe you didn't look to them like you thought you looked. Maybe they were seeing somebody else.
Yeah, it's. I mean, who knows? Maybe they were just acting normally, and I was just got it all wrong.
That was the LSD kicking in.
But it just seemed, and I remember checking in, then going to my room and putting things away, and then sitting on the bed thinking, do I know them? Did they know? Why? I'm like going through my head, like, what the fuck? But yeah, weird. Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite bizarre. I mean, like somebody said they drove past me on the road as well. They drove past and it was me in a car, but it wasn't my car, and they knew it was me. I mean, I suppose the brain has this capacity. I try to rationalize this. The brain has this capacity for pattern matching. It's the world's best pattern matchers, looking for things that look like other things, and it says, I know what that is, and sometimes when things don't look quite the same, but your brain is not sure, it might make it look the same. But I wonder how far that can go. Wonder how far you can go with that.
Well, it goes both ways, though, right? I remember talking to Ben Bemlin.
Yep. Hospital porters against the New World Order. Yes.
I remember talking to him about this, about the there's a term for it, where you see like seeing a face in a cloud and things like that, and the scientist types use it for like to explain away
simulacra.
Yes, that's the word. Yes, to explain away like the face on Mars and things like that, right? That the brain is always looking for patterns, and you see them everywhere. But I remember talking to Ben about this, and he said, "Well, what about the reverse? When you see the Sistine Chapel and you see all these paintings, and are you really seeing a face there, or is your mind just creating it? Is this programmed to see a face there?" because it can go both ways. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, when I've as people have done magic tricks on me, and you get this kind of like sense of awe, and somebody who's a pretty good magician, and he did this kind of like levitation thing, he's levitating like a coin in front of me, and I know it's wires. I know he's got wires. I know it. I mean, I fucking know how these tricks work, and I'm looking for the wires. I cannot fucking see them. And I'm looking, and I'm like, they got to be there. And I'm like, I'm putting my hand in there, and I'm not hitting them. And I'm like, what the fuck? But it's like, yeah, and I'm like, there were wires, and he did show it to me in the end.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's like, it's strange, the angles they're using, and it's almost like as if they're expecting you to try and find the wires, so they've kind of got this angle thing going. But it's like, yeah, once you kind of reach a threshold of certain type of weirdness, I think the brain just kind of goes, I give up. It's weird. It's real. It's God. It's a ghost. It's weird.
Well, it's as if we're already pre-programmed to accept the paranormal and or the spiritual, because you just explained around the guy he's floating a coin or whatever, and in the back of your mind you're like, yeah, I know it's a trick. I know he's just fucking pulling some wires, but after a while you're like, oh my God, it's real. It's like we're already predisposed to lean in that direction, that this shit is real. It's like we're predisposed to be spiritual, to see beyond the five senses.
Yeah.
It's already built into us in some way.
Yeah, and I think people want to see these things. They want to be excited, and I'm sure that people back in the time of some of these like religious icons, it's like today, like with cults. All it takes is one person with a powerful belief, and you don't even have to see the shit that they say happened to them. As long as they say it happened to them, you don't even need to see it. So by proxy, you're prepared to go, it's all happening because he said it happened to him.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. It's happening. So you don't even have to see it yourself. You kind of, your brain just goes, oh, I'm comfortable with that. And it's like, everyone's comfortable with it. I don't even need to know if it's real. It's real.
Yeah, you got to be always, for me, a little red flag always goes up whenever I meet anyone who's overly charismatic. Do you know what I mean? When you meet someone, and if instantly they're like too smarmy, too nice, too kind of, you're like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Something's up, or maybe they are genuinely nice people. I don't know, but 9 times out of 10, they're up to something.
I'm easily manipulated with a lot of things, and I find myself kicking myself straight afterwards, and I'm like, when I analyze.
Yeah.
I had these 2 Chinese girls from a Chinese like TV channel, and they were like, we want to interview you, and I said, you can't do it in the house. And they were like, oh. So in the end, they fucking had me in the house, and I said, you can't, like, there's no room. We need to go and like, get a room in a pub and do it in a pub, and I can, and they were like, oh, I want to see where you live. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but, and they're like, I want to see, and they fucking, in the end, they got up here in the room, and I said, look, it's messy. Look at the fucking dirt on the door, and the fucking floor, it's not hoovered, and all my shit on the table, and I don't know. So we're not doing it here. And we're like, it'll be okay. And I'm like, no. Well, sit down on your chair. I don't want to sit down on a fucking chair. I'm telling you, no. Like, no. And they're like, oh, no, sit down. And I'm like, oh, so we just filmed from here. It'll be okay. And I'm like, in the end, I was like, oh, fuck's sake. All right. And then I'm like, I just gave in. You know what I mean? It's like, I think your brain, like, my brain gives in, and I fucking I'm easy to catch, and I'm easy to fucking manipulate.
Very skilled at that shit. Some people are very, very skilled at manipulation like that. Those kind of techniques. I think a lot of like psychics have that. That kind of where they can just pull you in, and you're fun. It's like what they call it, like the reality distortion effect.
Yeah.
Where when you're in their reality bubble, you're like, oh my God, this is, and then the minute they go away or you step out of it, you're like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
But when they're next to you, you're like, oh, okay. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, man, I gotta bail. My wife is just yelling at me that dinner's ready, so
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
go.
So what's the time? Is it? It's about 9
Almost
o'clock.
8 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock
Eight
at night
o'clock.
right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with your meal.
Uh,
Have a nice
yeah,
one.
man, it's been great talking to you. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We should do it again. It's been awesome. And if you want to come on the podcast this Sunday, let me know. There's a space open for you at any time, dude.
Okay, man. Give us a little bit of advance notice. I'll be around, but
Don't worry. If you can't, don't. I'm just throwing it out there. If you want to come on, you're totally welcome. But if you can't, you can't. I get it.
no,
Don't worry
no.
about
That's
it.
fine. I mean, like all I ever say is just really kind of do that stage thing of like you ring
Yeah.
me 3 days before, the day before, a couple of hours before, and yeah, and then I'll be all right. Because I
All right.
have to get out
Awesome.
to
No,
bed, you see. So this takes a lot of effort.
I hear you. I totally get it. I'll I'll ping you on Saturday then and see what you say.
Okay, mate. Nice one.
All
Good
right, man.
speaking
Great
to you.
talking
All
to
the
you.
best, man.
Talk to
Take
you
it
again.
easy.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye. 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 And there we are. Now, is anyone else? Oh, fuck. See, now I should have checked in the channel because I'm still broadcasting. I'm still broadcasting and I haven't taken any. Oh, we got a new guy called Brady Alex. Yama. Yama. Oh, look, you've seen all my Skype names. Bad. You're not supposed to see all my Skype names. It's even got their telephone numbers, man. That's fucking wrong. That's wrong. So. Oh, and hang on. What the hell? I don't even know what time. It's like a time thing now. If I don't know if that screen, what the. Ooh. Yeah, it's like weird time shift effects. So yeah, I am probably gonna have to go to bed soon because it's 4 o'clock. Every day this week I've been going to bed about 4 or 5 in the morning. It's just not been, yeah, and then getting up at like midday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I just do this all the time. I just don't get up to like about 1 in the afternoon. It's not cool. So yeah, I'm pretty good. I guess still 7 people watching me, and one of those is obviously GCHQ. So yeah, Brady, where you from, man? Tell us about yourself. And Ayurveda, that's a plant, isn't it? New York City. Is Ayurveda a place? Is it a place? I don't know. Would it be a place? I'll have to look it up. So, yeah, New York City, man. Bloody hell. Are you one of my subscribers? Because you should have Solar Sleep. Solar Sleep? I don't know. Well, yeah, I like to sleep a lot. Like I feel a lot better when I had a lot of sleep. And 9 to 5 jobs and waking up and like rudely having to wake up and like go to sleep, work feeling like you're still half asleep and all that shit, that doesn't work for me very well. That's given me so much soul pain. I cannot tell you how horrible I have felt so many times by being forced to wake up when I'm not ready to. Yeah, that is not a good state of mind for me. So how's it for you? Do you like waking up and you sleep with the sunrise? Ain't Ayurveda the science of health from India? You sleep with the sunrise. Yeah, I sleep with the sunrise. And I reckon a good time of day is when you get up and do things when people aren't trying to rush their way to work, and vehicles, and everybody's like busy, gotta get up, gotta do shit. I want to do things when people ain't doing shit. I like doing things in the middle of the night when there's no one around, because I'm not the most social of people in the world, in respect of liking bumping into people and bumping into kids and like screamy kids and like stressy people. People are always stressy when they got to go to work, and kind of like you're going to meet those people more in the morning, and I suppose you can become acclimatized to it, but I kind of prefer to be around when people aren't around. Yeah, I suppose that's why circle making somewhat appeals to me as well. Yeah. I used to be a great artist. Maybe. I wouldn't describe myself as the best artist, but yeah, I like things on my own terms, and there aren't many things in life you can do. For a lot of people, you can't do things on your own terms, especially if you've got a family as well. You know, like if you've got kids, you know, you've got to be ready for them there and then on a daily. Everything's got to be. Your job's got to be on a timer. Your family's got to be on a timer. Everything. It's like, yeah. I kind of had to stop doing that shit. It's bad for my health. Yeah, it was really bad for my health. So, you know, sometimes I can go for days without, you know, being able to sit down and connect with work. And then at other times I go, right now I want to work really hard, and I'll kind of like do 18, 24 hours of like video editing or something like that, you know, and just do it in one big hit. Yeah, so... yeah. So, what sort of stuff are you into then, Brady Alex? Tell us about it. What do you do, man? I should check out, see whether you've got a YouTube channel. Let's have a look. How do I do that? Click on your name? No, it doesn't allow me to do that. See? Go to channel. Oh yeah, I can see if you've got a channel. See what you're up to. YouTube. Maybe I'll pull it over here so it keeps privacy. Brady Alex. Oh yeah, he's got some videos. It's good. I always like it when somebody's got some videos. You know, because it proves they're a real person then. And, you know, there's nothing worse than somebody who, like, trolls you on YouTube and you look to see if they've got a channel and they just don't exist. You know, they're kind of, like, completely anonymous. I like people with a bit of a channel going on. So what's this thing? You've got seagulls, look. Seagulls. You've got 34 minutes of seagulls. So, yeah, filming in and zooming in on the seagulls. Yeah. That's nice footage. Oh, that bird just took a shit. It's just like squirt, as they do, yeah. But it's... seagulls are funny things, because I remember I saw a baby seagull that had obviously fallen out of its nest, and there was no way it was ever going to be able to get back up on a building, and it was like wandering around, and I thought, well, if I can grab it, I could climb up the building and put it back where its nest was. But oh boy, they don't like that, do they? The mother seagulls. They'll dive bomb you, and they'll do everything, you know, they can, and shit on you as well. Yeah, they like shitting on you as a way of kind of stopping you from getting near their chick. They obviously assume that you have no good intent towards their offspring. So, but yeah, pigeons and seagulls are bastards for coordinated dive bombing, shitting. I guess this is where the RAF got their ideas for, you know, like dropping bombs from aircraft, because of nature and seagulls, you know, coordinated shit bombing that they do. So yeah, using your arsehole as a weapon. So you're almost human, are you? Can you? I'm just still watching your seagull videos, yeah. Oh, nice. Nice little seagulls. There's, they don't look like they've lost their... They must be babies. They're kind of like dappled feathers. So they probably just come out of the nest, still quite young, unless it's the type of seagull that has that sort of thing going on. But yeah, So there we are, seagulls. Yeah. So I'm glad you're a real person. So how did you come to see that this channel was here? How did you know it was taking place? Did you see that? Because I think YouTube tells people sometimes live channels going now, so you can kind of dip in. Sorry, American New York City person. I'll lean over this way so you don't have to put up with my horrific blowing of my nose, which I understand is definitely not something the American clientele like to see. So, am I hiding far enough out of shot for you not to see? Just about. Yeah, I was just about out of shot. Good. So, yeah, I'm looking for any comments. There's 6 watching now, so we've gained 1. But anyway, I'm going to have to go fairly soon because it's, it's the 6th of the 6th, 2019. So it's 6 o'clock this morning. It's going to be 6 on 6/06, 2019. So I'll have to watch out for that one. But I'm going to go and play with this thing now, which came today. It cost all of £20, and this. How can you buy something that has this power for £20? I'm going to explore whether it's good or shit. It's called an MX Pro. MX Pro, and there's a little computer inside here, and you can plug it into the television and into the Ethernet. It's got Wi-Fi built in as well, and you can plug in USB. Look, it's got 4 USB ports, and you can watch YouTube, pirate movies, pirate TV, and yeah, it's got SD card slots as well. But it's basically a way to kind of free you up from having to plug a laptop in to watch something on the television. You can just plug a memory stick in here and watch it on the TV. But it's very small form factor, and it's £20. Now, you know, television boxes you get from Amazon or Google, they restrict you very tightly to what you can watch and what you can do. You know, so you may be able to get Netflix, but you can't get Amazon. Or on Amazon Fire Stick, you can get Amazon Prime, but they probably won't let you have Netflix. I mean, I'm guessing because, you know, they want to keep you on their service. But this little thing lets you watch, pirate everything and install apps and kind of, yeah, for 20 quid. So I want to explore what that's like. I'll probably fall asleep trying to connect with it. But I'm hoping I can turn the adverts off like I can do with my Firefox, turn off adverts, because I cannot, and never will handle adverts. I hate them. So anyway, maybe finding crop circle artists. Prolly. So cheers, mate. He says cheerio, ciao. Yeah. So nice to see you, Guy. Nice to see you, and nice to see you all the 6 other people who are watching. And we'll catch you again soon on another test broadcast. It's been fairly stable actually afterwards. I mean, I think we got away with a couple of hours here. How long have I been broadcasting for? 3 hours. It's not bad. 3 hours. Oh, hang on. Is it 3 hours? Yeah, maybe about three hours. It's not bad. Must have good free antivirus like Kaspersky. I've got Kaspersky free. Yeah, I've got Kaspersky free on my machine. So that's what I recommend as well. So what's happening with this OBS then? Oh, I see. I've kind of... Whoa. Still... Whoa. Hang on. I need to move this across and hide the echoing screen. There we go. So I'm going to finish this, go to bed, get some sleep. And, well, I'm not. I'm actually going to try this MX Pro thing and see if it can connect me to some sort of piracy of some description. I just want to see how far it can go. I'm not going to say I'm going to kind of like use it for pirate things all the time, but I just want to see if it can. Why not? So on that note, Thank you very much, Brady Alex, and we shall speak to you soon. And anyone else who might be watching, thanks very much, and sayonara. And don't smoke cigarettes in your pussy.